their picks and reshape their teams. Now comes the hard part.
They've got to turn these rookies into NFL players.
That means OTAs, training them, testing them, training camps.
Pushing them farther than ever before.
We've got our eyes and ears on all of it.
Listen to the latest on your exclusive home for the NFL.
1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has zero issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Everybody, Mark Asher, about to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends that have used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time, and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now, you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
This is Dale Hellestray from my friends at Constructors Bonding. If you need bonds, you can put your trust in Arizona's industry leader for the best service, rates, terms, and capacity anywhere. Constructors Bonding is the #1 writer with 14 sureties and will improve your bond program. Call Dave McKee today to learn how Constructors Bonding will perform for you. 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 or visit cbialliance.com.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100-plus degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Phil in there pushing the buttons, and we got you guys out there on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios here in Scottsdale. And Randy, Suns win.
Suns win!
Suns win!
Suns
Suns
win!
win!
Yay! Suns
Very
win!
happy.
Yay!
And how are the Lakers doing in their series? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Phil. Your team's not in that anymore. I guess we'll talk about them next year. But listen, it was weird for me watching this game, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't hate the Nuggets. I don't either. I don't dislike the Nuggets. You know, I actually think that so far they seem like pretty good guys. And so for me, it was just like, wow, we're getting to watch some good basketball.
Yeah.
On both sides.
And it seemed like the Nuggets had the Suns, right off the bat. You thought the Nuggets, they're going to put a whooping on us when they came out in the first quarter there. And then the second quarter, they came out quick again. And then in the third quarter, after halftime, the Suns looked a little lethargic. But boy, the fourth quarter, that belonged to the Phoenix Suns, didn't it?
Absolutely. But I never felt like it was out of reach. I mean, it was only a few points here and there. There's a couple times it got to be about 10-point lead or so, but it never felt like urgent. It was like, all right, guys, just get your stuff together. Crowder, stop shooting that three. And, he made it a couple of times, but would you feel like, I know, Phil, you probably have started watching hockey at this point since the Lakers aren't playing basketball anymore, but would you feel like
playoffs going on?
Maybe they need to tell Crowder to knock it off? Maybe it's time to stop shooting it. What was his percentage? I knew he made a couple of good shots, but every time he does it, Crowder's back. No, he's not. He's missing, I feel like, more than he's making. And I don't have the stat sheet to prove it yet.
Well, he was 3 of 9.
Okay, so I'm absolutely right.
Oh, no, that's about 30%. I mean, you're hoping for about 35% out of a 3.
I'm hoping for about 60, 70%.
Well, of course, one could always hope, and we are Americans, so hope springs eternal.
Was that a dig on me being American?
No, it wasn't.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
How dare you?
What the hell's going on here?
Euro trash.
I'm just saying Americans are filled with hope. It's our number one trait.
I feel triggered.
I don't know why.
I feel targeted.
You okay? You gonna make it, Snowflake? What are we doing here?
Horrible. Oh no.
Did he just call you a snowflake?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Being
it's
triggered.
about to go down here.
Let's be honest here, Jeffrey. Out of all of our skin tones on this,
snowflake
out of all of our skin tones on this show, which one of us should be called Snowflake?
Yeah,
see,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Randy, because he's looking at all that gray hair he's got there.
Yeah, no,
I do have a lot of snow on the roof.
I'm very pasty and pale, so
yeah, and that's a good point.
I know both Randy and I at any point could trigger the white balance in any television studio if we needed to. But that has 0% to do with anything, you mealy mouth little millennial. So stay in your lane when it comes to the insults, right?
Look, Jay Crowder, he's a very much a streaky shooter, at least from 3. If he starts to heat up, as we saw in games,
he's been cold as cold throughout most of the playoffs.
Right, and he'll hit the odd one, and then he'll go through his cold spells, and he's streaky both ways, unfortunately. But if we look at him in like Game 6 against the Lakers, in there, he was as hot as could be. So you're hoping to get him jump started, because he will be a killer for you, where he will end a game single-handedly. He'll probably get you one game this series. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping that he has a major buco game.
I want consistency. I don't want streaky. And when you're watching some of those games with the Lakers, and you're like, please don't do it. And of course, Brick. Please don't do it, Brick. And you could almost say that some of his errant shots cost them a game in that series. So I guess I get a little cranky whenever I see Crowder step behind the line and try to put up a 3.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking the Lakers series. Now we're talking Nuggets series. And the great thing that stood out to me is if you look at the final stat line here, all 5 of the starters were participants in the game. Everybody had 21. Let's see. Chris Paul had 21. Booker had 21, and that was a quiet night for him. DeAndre Ayton had 20 points and 10 rebounds. You had Jay Crowder with 14, and then Mikal Bridges with 23. Okay. That means that all 5 starters were shooting the ball, making points when they needed to, and took the heat off of CP3 and Devin Booker. So I thought this was a huge night for the Phoenix Suns, and that's something that this team has done all year long, as the entire team has participated in the scoring.
And what I saw there was, you can't double team. You can't double team because we have a number of guys on this squad that can hurt you. And listen, I don't know what this series holds for the Phoenix Suns. And one of the things I sort of observed when the Suns would start to go on a roll, bring it close, kind of slip back, bring it on another roll, slip back. It was a couple of times that they went backwards and came forwards. And then finally they put their foot on the gas, or did they? I don't think they did. I think their foot is always on the gas, and they were able to capitalize on some mistakes that were made by the Denver Nuggets. Some missed opportunities and, some bad shots. And I think that is kind of the recipe to the Phoenix Suns' success. Be consistent, keep plowing forward, keep fighting as hard as you can, make sure every possession matters. Yeah. And, our problem is a lot of those missed 3-pointers. I would rather see Crowder go up for even a fadeaway and miss a 2-pointer than miss a 3-pointer, because he has a higher percentage chance of getting 2 points. And if we were going down there every time, and instead of always trying to drop a 3, he's dropping 2s, this could have been a much wider margin of victory.
No, that's not Jay Crowder's game, man. Yeah, technically in the game of basketball, if you are what you're supposed to be, just the average basketball player, yes, you're right. That is a better shot
Well, but
statistically.
sometimes his game isn't even his game, though.
Well, he's a 3-and-D
Can't
player.
count on him.
He'll consistently give you a good effort from the defense, whether it be on the perimeter, whether it even be pressuring on the inside, getting in through on the pick and roll, swapping off because he has good size. You can count on that consistently. That's why he's a starter. But from the 3-point of view, he's usually he needs to be open. First of all, in order for him to be effective. And then even on the threes, you're just hoping that he has a wide open corner three that he can just sink and play as if it's practice before the game, pregame open up. Because that's what all he needs in order to become successful and be the killer that you want him to be. Now, look, this was DeAndre Ayton's, I'm going to call it. I think that this would be his best game. So you got to win off of DeAndre Ayton's best game of the series. Way to go. That's how you start to win.
Because he won that battle.
Yeah, he won that battle. Game 1 goes to him. To the victor go the spoils. Let's see. Now, the Nuggets, we go back to this, and it's going to be a consistent theme. You got to win one on the road. Now, they didn't win the first one, but you can also say that probably didn't feel like the Denver Nuggets' best shot. That wasn't like a Dame Lillard double overtime 55 game.
And their own coach said this is eerily similar to game 1 against the Trailblazers.
Yes.
So it's a figure out the Suns kind of game.
Yes.
But here's the difference. The Trailblazers did not have that depth of talent. They had one guy almost, and this Suns squad, when you try to focus on where you think it's coming from, there's 3 other places it can be coming from.
Look.
So this is a very different situation for the Nuggets than the Trailblazers.
If I'm the Nuggets, I actually am fine with how this game went. You don't want to have Devin Booker beat you. If I'm coming at this from the Nuggets point of view, anybody but Booker can beat me.
A loss is a loss, Phil.
A loss is a loss, but I'm going to book on the fact that DeAndre Ayton is not going to consistently beat my MVP big man.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see what you did
book.
there, Phil.
Yeah. He said
You're going to book on
yeah.
Booker. I see what you
Make
did
sure
there,
you
Phil.
make sure you put your 2 replacement guards in Austin Rivers and Campazzo, whatever the Italian guy who's cooking tortellini because he's getting cooked out there. Whatever he does, you just put them both on Booker, like Chris Paul facilitate as he will. But I'm not going to let Devin Booker beat me in any game of this series if I can help it.
Well, this is what happened. Okay, the Suns won.
Suns won.
And we will see what happens on Wednesday when they play again. And I thought last night was going to be a much tighter game than it ended up being in the third quarter. It was a big difference in the third quarter. But this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep, like Phil likes to say. This is going to go 6-7 games. And it's going to be tough going both directions. And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed every damn minute of it. It was an enjoyable game. I wasn't sitting there getting grumpy about their stars or their starters. I wasn't, aggravated. I wasn't angry. I was just like, oh, go. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just felt like it should be. It was a good game.
The difference between this series and last series against the Lakers, Denver, as far as I know, their city is opened up, so they're going to have a full arena there.
Oh,
if not full,
I was wondering about that.
Pretty damn large crowd in attendance in Denver at the arena there. So the Suns are not going to go up to a quiet arena. They're going to have to battle the crowd and the hostile environment. So it'll be interesting to see after Wednesday night when they travel up to the Mile High City how the Suns do in their first really packed playoff environment.
I think they'll be fine. Thunder Snow says, Phil, Campazzo is from Argentina. Oh yeah, Thunder Snow. Argentina can't have some Italians, huh? He's actually Argentinian.
Either way,
yeah, it's not anywhere close to the same thing. But
no,
okay,
they're on the same continent,
Argentina. Yeah,
just kidding.
There's something in there. He'll Ben Mike says, as a true Suns fan, I think back to playing Denver in the playoffs. We used to yell at Doug Moe, "Hey Doug, nice coat." My point being, good basketball aside, they're the enemy. Manufacture your dislike and hate. Don't let these suckers even breathe. Go Suns. And if we can go 11-9 the rest of the way, the Larry O'Brien is ours. All right. Well, I just, I don't know. I got to have a reason to not like somebody. I can't just do it artificially. We can sing our, very popular song.
Yeah. It's going to the top of the charts with a
Yeah.
bullet.
Go ahead, lead it there, Randy.
Oh, a
Burning hell,
Nuggets,
burning hell,
Nuggets.
Shut the hell up, Phil.
Still a little stutter on the end there where you just can't get the Lakers out of it.
That's why I was trying to follow Randy because he's on remote and I wanted to just reduce that.
Oh, not
lag.
timing. Timing, I understand. But at the end there, Randy wanted
you
to
got
say
to lead that dance, Randy.
Yeah, I know. I apologize for that. I'll do better next time.
Thunder Snow says Rotten Hell Nuggets. No, we're good with Burn in Hell. Burn in Hell works.
Burn in Hell. Yeah, that's a good one.
Straight Striper says the biggest strength of the Suns seems to be less turnovers. They are moving the ball better with every possession. Credit to Chris Paul for that. Yeah, again, a totally different team whenever he is on the court, whether he's shooting away or whether he's just distributing. It's a completely different thing. And I'll bring it right back to the Broncos when Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with them. And it wasn't that he was throwing some amazing balls, just his presence on the field and his ability to manage the game from there made a huge bit of difference. And I know that you're going to go, well, Brock Osweiler did great. That didn't matter. You needed someone like Peyton Manning, and the Suns needed somebody like Chris Paul.
Look, Chris Paul, and the one advantage that the Suns are going to have, no matter where they go until the finals, if they were to make it to the finals, the one advantage that they will have about over each and every team that they get there to is that they will have consistency and chemistry between their players that is an uptick to any other team. If you look at the Clippers, they have been injured the entire way. The Nuggets, they're working with 2 new guards in their starting rotation that they never had prior to the playoffs. So no matter where they go, they have that advantage, and that's always going to resemble nice in turnovers and being able to quickly readjust to what they do and be able to reside back on where they were.
Can you do me a favor, Phil? Can you look up what the capacity allowed for the Denver Nuggets is going to be? Now, remember, the Suns have a home court advantage, so they're still going to play in Phoenix on Wednesday. But I'm curious what we have to look forward to. Last night, it was a sellout crowd, 16,319. So comparatively, what are we in for?
Well, last time they were in Denver against the Trailblazers, they were at 54%, looking at about 19.5.
Wow, they got a much bigger arena.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Everything's bigger in Denver. It's just a matter of filling it.
Yeah, but everybody's stoned, so I don't know.
Pretty mellow.
Yeah. All right, so that is a much bigger crowd to be reckoned with. But yes, like you said, mellow. So I ain't too worried. Charlie Boy says, "Hi guys, hey Phil. Suns win last night. Yes, Randy, pour me a soda, please, and thank you very much."
By the way, I think it is worth noting that there is breaking news.
Break some news.
The Nuggets, big man Jokic.
Newsflash.
He has officially won the MVP for the NBA. This was about 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, Jokic is now your MVP, ladies and gentlemen. And I think he does a lot of cocaine, to be honest. His nose is always red. Look at the picture right there. His nose is always red. I'm pretty sure he is coked out of his mind. Somebody should give him a drug test.
Just because he's a heavy nose breather
I was told to try to find something not to like about the guy, so I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe start vicious, horrible rumors.
Who assigned this to you?
Isn't it his terrible case of Jokic enough, though, Jeff Coe? Do we have to go
How does his
to
nose,
the nose
get
candy?
so red like that? How else is his nose that?
Because he's a competitor.
He has a
through
COVID.
the nose.
Oh, God, he has a COVID. You don't get
COVID.
jock itch on your nose. Maybe Phil
Get
does,
him out
but
of there.
I just don't think anybody gets the jock itch on their nose.
Yeah. Get him out of there.
He's Jock Itch has some explaining to do. Thunder Snow says, "Burn in hell, Jock Itch." Can I ask you? I'm finding it hard to not like the guy. In reality, is there something about him I need to know? Did he kick a puppy? Did he leave a woman at the altar? Is there anything?
He broke a microphone during a press conference one time accidentally.
You know how expensive those things are? You vicious, careless, thoughtless, inconsiderate Serbian guy. I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see. The text line blowing up. Screaming Evil says, "Suns win." Nuggets are a very good team, but the Suns have a stronger and better defense. Keep going, Suns. Do we have a stronger, better defense? Because I feel like that was pretty good part of what the Suns were doing last night. They had good defense. I don't know if it's better.
Better than the Nuggets, you're saying? Yeah, well, the Nuggets, that's not really going to be their game. That's why they were so perfectly matched with the Portland Trailblazers. Neither team really had a propensity for defense. The Trailblazers going into the game certainly had an edge in having the ability to hone in at times and lock in. But the Nuggets are really, if you look at their games against the Trailblazers, they're winning games 126 to 115, 147 to 140, 120 to 115, 128. So last night, it was something of a nuance where they weren't able to get into that one teams at least, where you're hoping that they're trying to get into that offensive flow. So we'll see them at their best whenever they're going around 120s.
Do we have any Denver Nugget fans listening? I would be surprised if we did. But do we have any Denver Nugget fans or fans of Jokic?
Well, we do have some
Nikola Jokic fans.
Jokic, and we do have some Broncos fans. So it wouldn't surprise me to have some clear relationship there.
So if you're a fan of Jokic, text in 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, "Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well." Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Pretty good.
All right. Good Cat says, "Burn in hell, Lakers. I don't dislike the Nuggets, so I can't say burn in hell Nuggets. Can't we just sing beat the Nuggets, clap, 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 beat the Nuggets?" No, it's got to be burn in hell.
No, it's not clap, clap, clap. It's Jokic. It's not the same thing.
President Wallet says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. All I can say is, wow, did anybody see that coming?" Phil is correct for the first time in show history. Jeffrey was being a snowflake. No, I wasn't. You're just a hater. Napa Bob says, "Randy, Bruce Sutter or Steve Howe?" What? Read the room, Napa Bob.
I love this. This is my
Napa
new
Bob.
part.
I'd go with Bruce Sutter.
There you go. And let's just let that be. Can we just let that be? La Furia Roja says, "Go Phoenix Rising." I'm not reading the second part because the Dodgers can burn in hell too. Let's see. Elvin Mike says, "You, Phil, need to be reminded constantly about the Lakers until you get that beautiful tattoo. Then you'll have that reminder with you till the day you die."
Oh, fantastic. Yes. Which, by the way, I think we got a resounding ASAP as soon as possible for when I should get.
Well, yeah, that was the Twitter poll results, and pretty much the same results on the text line at ASAP.
I will get on that.
All right. I'm sure you will. And don't worry, we will get on you if you take too long doing that. Moist One sent me a topless photograph of Nikola Jokic.
Must have been hard to obtain.
That's wow. Well, he's a kid, Moist One. Give him a break, you know?
Is he a little tubby? Is that what
He's got some nice moves. Justin Tip says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. We don't want streak players. I would way rather have consistent B+ player backing up the Suns' big three rather than a streaky A-, sometimes C+ player." That's exactly how I feel about Jay Crowder. I agree 100%.
Wow.
Thunder Snow says, "Tough Acton Tenacton is a big fan of Jokic." Well, he made a lot of money off it. Large Mark says, "Think John Madden's a big fan of the Jokic." Yes, he made money off that too. Heavy Metal Maniacs, no, Phil has not gotten his new Suns tattoo yet, but he will soon. Straight Striper says, "Let's be honest, ride the wave and victory, Suns fans, because the Brooklyn Nets are going to win the championship. I'll bet a tattoo on it, Jeffrey." Okay, if you want to get a tattoo, we'll have a bet. Speedo, me, and you tattoo, like with Phil. I mean, if you want, that's fine. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have other things to talk about, not just the Phoenix Suns beating the Denver Nuggets. We have other NBA. We've got NHL. We've got Major League Baseball. And as God is my witness, we will talk NFL quarterbacks at some point today. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Introducing in-person payments from PayPal, a touch-free way for your customers to pay and tip. Whether you're a hot dog vendor,
Mustard? You gotta have the mustard.
a personal trainer,
Don't you drop those knees, Sandra!
or a boba shop.
Brewed to pearly perfection.
Signing up your business is easy. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan, pay, and tip too. Shop safe with touch-free QR code payments. Fees may apply. For more info, go to paypal.com/US/getQRcode.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Felicia.
We're the hosts of the show, Drive Friendly.
With Steve's 40 years of experience, you're going to get the real insider information about the automotive industry. And I'll be interviewing local celebrities and experts so you can be informed and live your very best life.
Laugh and learn with Steve, Felicia, and the gang. You'll be smarter for listening. Drive Friendly, 10 a.m. Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100+ degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
The Tampa Bay Bucks, Super Bowl 55.
Super Bowl 55 is in the history books, but we are kicking up our feet and waiting. The 2021 season has begun.
And there's already been a lot of action.
Because the NFL never takes a nap.
Free agency, pro days, hirings and firings, the draft, training camp, and more.
We will keep you in the know with all the news, insights, and analysis.
Football is always in season here.
Your exclusive home to the NFL at Super Bowl 56.
1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. Coming up on Friday at 6 p.m., it's the race setup with Randy White. We got the All-Star race on Sunday at 2 p.m. here on 1580 Fanatic. So I guess the entire show is going to be about the All-Star race.
Well, no, we're going to wrap up what
Every
happened.
moment will be spent talking about the All-Star race, not another thing.
No, we'll be
0% of things.
Well, we'll be wrapping up what happened in Sonoma, the wine country, this past weekend. Is Hendrick Motorsports about to really peak and just start to dominate the NASCAR? That question will be answered. Jeff Striegel from Amarena, join us. Chief and I will set you up for the All-Star race. I believe he's going to be on the show. I understand he might be on the road to the All-Star race. I hope it's not before we do the race setup. So we'll see Friday night.
Okay. If you need my help, I am happy to help with everything.
You want to be on the race setup with me, do you?
Everything I've learned about NASCAR from you, I think I could fit right in. And if it helps, I'll talk like this. Hey, everybody. I'm Jeffrey O'Brien. I'm filling in for Chief.
No.
Woo, NASCAR. That's all I got to say every now and then. And then you can handle the heavy lifting.
Well, I mean, I could do that, and I'm sure Jeff Striegel would just he would really enjoy speaking with you.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah. Everybody knows who Jeffrey O'Brien is. So yeah,
I was a big hit when I made a brief cameo last time I was on your show.
Yeah,
so
you were a giant hit, I'm sure.
Hey, everybody, we're talking about racing. Woo.
Yeah.
See, you just could write some stuff up for me to read.
Okay,
so I can shout out every now and then.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could do something like absolutely.
Joe
Jeff,
Logano was a big old piece of garbage.
Yeah, I'll write that over and over again. That's just when I point at you, that's all you need to say.
Jeff Striegel, why is Joey Logano a giant piece of garbage? Why is that?
See right there?
Bam.
Right there it is. You got it down.
Bam.
I thought Chief was in here. I had
See what
to
I'm saying?
take a second look.
Well, I'm not trying to do exactly his voice.
Well, it sounded just like him, didn't it, Phil?
Yeah, you need a bit more of a mullet to sound exactly, but
I'll work on it.
Well,
if it gets me on the show with Randy, I'll work on it.
Well, all right.
So, all right. So the race setup, and I tell you what, it's educational, it's entertaining, and by God, it's the best NASCAR show you're going to find. Not just because I'm trying to be on it, but Randy knows what he's doing there.
Thank you.
Bruno Baller says, Jeffrey, it's the race setup, not the NASCAR. Hee-haw. I know, every time I hear Chief on there, I can't tell. Thunder Snow says, is the All-Star race the one they run backwards? That's
No,
right.
that's,
They do.
no,
They put it in reverse.
No, there's no truth in that.
It's a lot
no.
of neck injuries from that, from just kind
no.
of getting a crick in your neck as you're
No.
constantly. Some
Dear
of them
God.
have reverse cameras, and I think
No,
that's cheating.
No, there's no truth to that whatsoever. It's absolutely false. It's called an inverted start is what it is called, not a reverse race.
Okay, so they're upside down.
No,
You
no.
said they're inverted. When I watched Top
It's
Gun,
inverted
he
means
went
the
inverted and gave that Ruski the finger.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. However, we're talking about race cars here, not F-14 Tomcats running at Mach 1.5.
Napa Bob says, Randy, I consider Bobby Orr the greatest hockey player, even though he was a defenseman and his career
Yeah.
was cut short. What do you
Yeah.
say?
I would agree with that. I think he's one of the best hockey players ever to play the game. Of course, you can't rule out Wayne Gretzky. You can't rule out some of the others, but Bobby Orr certainly right up there among the elite status and legendary status of the game.
I feel like Napa Bob is interviewing you for a job because the question's just like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Bruno Baller says, so is this NASCAR's version of an all-star break kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly right.
Are we halfway through?
We are virtually halfway through. If not this weekend, it's very short. The racing season has been progressing along, but yeah, you are correct. This is an all-star game for NASCAR fans. It's for the fans, for the drivers to win $1 million. There is nothing else on the line except an opportunity to race for $1 million.
888-368-1580. And yes, Prison Wallet, I make fun of everybody. That's what I do. And there's a difference between making fun of people and being a filthy racist. So I'm not even going to answer your question. King of Kitten says, good afternoon, gentlemen. The AM signal coming in great here in the Scottsdale Air Park area. The Suns opened a can of whoop ass on the Nuggets in the second half last night.
Yeah, they sure did.
Well, specifically, yeah, the second half, but both in the third and fourth quarter, they had them by 10 points. So do we call this a blowout? Do we call this a blowout? Really? Didn't feel like a blowout. Feel like there's some garbage time points.
Certainly, it was one of those. The score belied what the actual game was. Anybody watching that game certainly didn't feel like as if this was a consistent wall-to-wall 20-point blowout or 15-point blowout. It's more so just once they called off the dogs, and let's get
don't get cocky, kids. That's what I'll say. Don't get cocky.
Oh yeah, you still have this in what, 6, Randy? You still have this Suns in 6?
Oh yeah, I haven't given that up.
Well,
I believe we match up way better against the Nuggets than we did against the Lakers. Even though the Lakers, were somewhat downtrodden and injured, I think we are a better team than the Denver Nuggets, especially with their stud out, and they're trying to get some unity with these other two guards.
And I'm going to stick with mine: 5, 6, or 7 games. That's my prediction.
Wow.
Just a Tip says, Jeffrey, the race setup is a serious show. They get serious guests and discuss NASCAR with humor, knowledge, and detail. Also, Randy, Boog Powell or Harmon Killebrew?
I'd have to go with Harmon Killebrew. I think I've been asked this before. My first professional model baseball glove was a Harmon Killebrew glove. So I feel like I got to be loyal to Killebrew.
Well,
so
I say, Joe Logano sucks. See, come on, give me a shot. Just get one show. Just give me one show. Jim P. in Avondale says, Jock Itch drinks peanut butter whiskey.
Oh boy.
Are we trying to
come up?
Yeah, well, there's a man card violation if he does, Jim P. But I kind of like the guy. I'm hoping somebody can give me a reason to dislike him or somebody else on the Denver Nuggets. And I don't have it. Other than the fact they're between us and an NBA finals. That's it. Average Joe says, afternoon, gents. Hey, Phil, do you think LeBron watched the game from his living room or from his mom's basement?
Oh,
From
boy.
his mom's basement.
Well, that's where you go and you need to feel whole again.
He probably bought his mom 2 mansions.
It's irrelevant.
It's
irrelevant.
Her basement's
Answer
better than
the
my
question,
house.
Phil. Answer the question.
I think he did it from a Cabo estate, from a little hut out in the Cancun area.
Yeah, you're probably right. Helaman Mike says, yes, and we are not the Trailblazers. We are the Phoenix Suns, my friends. Moist one says, Harmon Killebrew is the owner of Harmon Solar, right?
No.
I believe that is correct.
No.
Good Cat says, just another reason LeBaby will never be Jordan. LeBaby never won a dunk title either. LeBaby never won a dunk title. Did he ever do the?
Yeah, he never.
Oh, you mean
he
at the
never-
All-Star game
yeah, he
dunk
never
title?
participated.
I'm not even going to say that I'd be mad about that. You know, it's not a prerequisite to be. Wait, did Kobe ever do that? Did he ever win a dunk title?
That's a great question.
Bruno Baller says, Jeffrey, you sound like Jeff Foxworthy trying to impersonate Chief.
Yeah,
You might be a redneck.
yeah. Kobe Bryant. He was the youngest slam dunk contest champion.
Oh, wow.
He won at 18 years,
Yeah.
169 days old, and he won it in 1997 as a rookie.
So nothing that is happening right now should stain LeBron James' legacy. I don't think his legacy is to be a GOAT, honestly, but I don't think it should stain his legacy. What we're going to look at again is legacy is being the GOAT of your era. And the greatest of Michael Jordan's era, Michael Jordan. The greatest of Kobe's era, Kobe Bryant. The greatest of LeBron James's era is LeBron James. I mean, is there somebody that we could say is better than LeBron James in his era?
He's amassed so many potential records to break. I would have to say though, look at how many players you could say that about. Look at Kevin Durant. You know, Kevin Durant's no slouch.
He actually does slouch a little bit. I'll be honest with you, he's not got the best posture I've ever seen.
He's a bit of a sloucher and a carry-on.
But
carry on. Well, yeah. Okay, wait. Define carry on, because if that means what I think it means.
Yeah, he lets the other team take off, and then he joins the club.
Okay, so the opposite of that is LeBron, who goes and just collects people and throws everybody on a team together. Kind of the same output. It's kind of the same thing.
No, it's apples to oranges.
Well,
both fruit.
Kevin Durant needed more of a super team to join up on than LeBron needed.
Yeah, that's why the Nets was so fascinating when he first did it, because at least he would have gained a lot of notoriety had it just been him and Kyrie. But now
I have to say timeout on that, because he went to Golden State. Everybody knows Steph Curry and Golden State and the rest of the team there. Steve Kerr and the rest of the team.
Without him.
Really were recruiting him to come there from Oklahoma.
True.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah,
or no?
absolutely. Everybody was recruiting Kevin Durant.
And Kevin Durant had the opportunity to stay in Golden State. Can we all agree to that?
Well, he had an opportunity to stay in Oklahoma, but yes.
But he had an opportunity to stay with Golden State, correct?
Also, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, the second time.
Okay. So and then he chose on his own accord to leave and go to the Brooklyn Nets.
I don't think he drove a Honda Accord, but okay.
They did not have anybody at the time he wanted to go to Brooklyn
with
and play
Kyrie
for the
Irving.
Nets.
He came with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving came over because Kevin Durant was going there.
I would argue that Kyrie Irving drove him there. He was good to go with either the Knicks or the Nets. But
whoever's got the Honda Accord, you can have 4 doors on that. You can take anybody you need.
Anyways,
and then James Harden ended up there because Kyrie and KD were there.
Well, because they wanted him there. Yes.
Yeah, but Blake Griffin showed up in a Kia. That's a different story.
Right.
Oh, and Blake Griffin, and did you want LaMarcus Aldridge as well? I know he's not playing anymore, but they certainly went out and grab-bagged him. Look, the point being is that Kevin Durant joined not only a championship contending team that didn't lose a single piece because of his acquisition, not a single piece, but they also were they owned the regular season championship where they had 73-9. They were a historical team without him. Without him, they were a fully dynamic, legacy-defining team, and with the acquisition of him, it made it unfair. It made it where only
history
with
the word fair or unfair there, kid.
I don't think he's a carry-on baggage is what I understand you to say, Phil. You're saying that he's like luggage. He just somebody brings him aboard. It's not like he goes out and makes his own championship opportunities, which I think he did with the Brooklyn Nets.
He did with 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA right now.
Who is that?
That'd be Kyrie Irving and James Harden, 2 of the top scorers, not just going
Kyrie
out.
Irving wasn't there. Kyrie Irving just got there this season.
along with him. Again, they were going to be paired
with KD was there for 2 seasons. One season he was hurt. Remember, he went down in the playoffs with Golden State, and he left Golden State and signed on with the Brooklyn Nets, and he was the only guy there. And then Kyrie Irving came, and then just this season, James Harden demanded a trade and ended up in Brooklyn. That's the way I remember it. Perhaps the fourth dimension can correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, Boomer Sooner says, crap, shut up, Phil.
No, Kyrie Irving went along with Kevin Durant. They both joined at the same offseason. Doesn't mean that Kevin Durant, he didn't play the first season, but Kyrie Irving was there. Okay, Kyrie Irving was there and went alongside with him in the same free agent acquisition period with Kevin Durant, but he just didn't play the first season because of his Achilles injury that he suffered in the finals against the Toronto Raptors.
Heelbin Mike says Durant is an insecure weenie. Why the burner phones to fight on social media? Burn in hell, fishnets. Okay, slow down, Heelbin Mike. We're not there quite yet, but everything you say about that is true.
Yes, I think in that we can all agree.
What about Famunda the Floppa? He seems pretty easy to slike.
Is he
that LeBron?
Kuzma?
All I know is Jokic seems like a pretty good guy. I feel like I got to call him Jokic just because I'm trying to start up some fight here. And I don't know. Thunder Snow says, I think Jokic did it with a goat. Well, see, that's him and
what, Michael Jordan, according to you, Jeffrey?
No, not what I'm not. I don't think that's what he's getting at there. Not even close. Hefty Lefty says Kobe won the 96 dunk contest. Moist One says LeBron is the GOAT in Kobe's era too. They overlap, but there's always one dominant guy, Moist One.
Well, not with Magic and Bird. They kind of held the mantle at the same time.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that was a joint effort. That was kind of just before Jordan's time.
Yes, absolutely.
But those two were very dominant.
There's always a passing of the torch.
Well, there's a good question and argument. Who was better, Magic Johnson or Larry Bird?
It honestly depended at that point in time on which coast you were coming from, because it very much went against coastal lines, where middle of the country was more so blue collared, went more towards Larry Bird. But if you were from New York, if you were from Chicago, if you were from, of course, LA, you really enjoyed the Showtime Lakers and all that they represented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, this could also get into a
racial.
Yes, yeah, I don't want to go there. No. We have a new texter who has just refused to ever give themselves a nickname. 0259 says the Suns want the sweep over these chicken nuggets. Come on, Randy's back. We would love a sweep, but I'm not so crazy myself that I could predict that. I want it. I think it could happen, but this team, I do believe, is better than that. And I feel like, where Randy, you were saying that the Suns match up with the Nuggets better than they did the Lakers. I feel like this is a better team than the Lakers. This could easily go one way or the other any given game. That's why I was asking a question about what kind of a crowd do we have to look forward to in Denver? Are they a rowdy bunch? Is this, because this is going to be closer than you guys think.
Also,
I think you're right.
Another element that you have to equate to is that the Denver Nuggets, they hold the only stadium in the NBA where you can actually define that there is a full home field advantage, where because they're going
Again,
up to that
it's a court.
No. Okay. Yes.
It's not a court. It's not a field.
I'm just so used to it, and I want it to be a field. Can they play on grass one of these days?
It'll never happen.
Okay. Well, they do hold one of the few home court advantages that is tangible, where you're going up into that higher elevation. Breath and lungs get a little bit more tight. And look, the Nuggets are more used to that than any other team. That's why when they were with Carmelo Anthony, they had such a high home court advantage, because other teams would get winded once we start getting later and later into the game.
Mr. Lloyd says, speaking of Chief's voice, I'm pretty sure he does the voice of Jack from Jack in the Box. Pay attention to the next Jack commercial. It's him.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. Yeah, but I'll listen though. But no, it's not even close. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back. More of the Daily Blender after this here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
You might not know it, but your small business IT systems can leave you and your customers vulnerable. At Affinity Technology, we provide peace of mind by ensuring your computer systems are working and are safe from hackers and outside threats. We solve technology problems for small business. No confusing tech talk or black box setups. If it plugs in, we work with it. Contact us today at atechaz.com. That's atechaz.com. Affinity Technology.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
Contractors, listen up. This is Bruce Jacobs. Are you missing out on jobs due to lack of bonding? When your current bonding holds you back, call Arizona's #1 bond managers at Constructors Bonding. They have the market relationships and expertise to take you where you want to go, serving all types of contractors of any size and license in all states. When you need better bonding, call Dave McKee at Constructors Bonding, 602-432-5929, or visit cbialliance.com.
The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. Boogie's got the spirits. He says, go Suns, kick them right in the nuggets. Extra hot with sweet and sour. Oh, yeah, go Suns. There you go, Boogie. Well done. Well
That's
done.
one nugget sauce I don't want to try.
Moist One says, Bird Magic, that was a great rivalry, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he actually is the GOAT in that convo.
I don't know. If you even ask Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he still calls Magic Captain. Like he says that he is a tremendous player.
Yeah, and wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar more of a 70s player than he was an 80s
probably,
player?
Yeah, you can make the argument that he was the one passing the torch to Magic if you want to make that argument. But he certainly, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar absolutely was probably the one who dominated the generation before him.
No, Moisten said he's in the combo. He didn't say he's the GOAT. Sorry about that, Moisten. Large Marge says, I mean, you didn't see Jokic join up with Athlete's Foot or Herpes doing a title. Okay, that's a good point, Large Marge. Let's see. Box of Screws says Irving and Durant tried to make their own super team, and they did it once. They added the Harden. It'd be so underwhelming if they did win this year. Well, I'll tell you what. Kevin Durant had 32 last night, and now the Nuts are up 2-0 over the Bucks, and that was a blowout. 125-86 is a blowout. The Suns 122 over the Denver Nuggets 105. Blowout-ish. Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like a blowout.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a blowout. We were both commenting. I mean, I remember Phil coming into the studio yesterday when the Nets and Bucks game was going on. It feels like, oh, geez, look at that. I mean, the Nets were just commanding from the offset, right from the beginning of the game. So I would definitely say the Nets blew out the Bucks last night. What's Milwaukee got to do? What do they have to do?
Play better. You got to have a whole lot of defense to take on a super team, right, Randy? I mean, you got to be able to stop these guys.
Well, I mean, I think the only way you can stop KD and they don't even have Harden in there. It's just
You don't have
Irving
Harden in right now.
and KD. So what do you do? You got to attack both of those guys, it seems like, and make the rest of the team beat you. To me, that seems to be the only defense.
Right now, the field goal percentage for the Bucks is atrocious out of the series. Now you're hoping that that's going to go up once the rowdy Barclays Center for the Nets is not a factor, and it's in fact going for you when you're the Bucks. But look, they cannot be allowing Blake Griffin, old creaky knees Blake Griffin, to be dunking on them time and time again. They cannot allow him to turn back the clock, because the one advantage you were supposed to have for the Bucks was size. This was supposed to be a series where Robin.
Listen, you do not get between a man playing for another Kia. You don't do it. You don't get between Blake Griffin and his 2022 Kia.
That's true.
I see. Yeah.
He will just jump right over you.
That's just simple math right there.
Yeah. No one in his right mind, Kevin Harlan said last night, would get in his way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. By the way, it was weird. All of a sudden, old Reggie Miller is hanging out with Kevin Harlan instead of with backbiting, lingerie wearing Marv Albert. And so I that was weird. I didn't know they switched off partners. Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller. I thought that was a pretty good pairing, actually. Maybe Kevin Harlan is the next voice of the NBA. Maybe he is the heir apparent for Marv Albert.
Perhaps.
Yes.
And boom goes the dynamite.
No, don't. Phil.
That wasn't close.
Yeah, that was
the baby in the bathwater.
That's not even making sense.
Who's he trying to do?
Close
Jeffrey?
the sandwich on that PB&J.
Just wish he'd
What?
stop. Don't know what he's
Those
doing.
are horrible.
It's bad. Jokic. I love Jokic, says a dog named Boo. Every time I scratch, I get a chubby. Okay, that's just too much right there. Shame on you, dog named Boo. I'm going to rub your nose in it. Box of Screws. I already read that. Thank you. Hefty Lefty says, speaking of greatest of all time, 1 week from today, Americans' own Brian Shaw will attempt to cement his legacy as the greatest strongman of all time when he goes for his 5th World Strongest Man title. USA all the way. All right.
Okay.
That's cool. It's not a sport. It's competition. The strongman stuff's not really a sport. But, yeah, I hope he does well. It's good. It's good competition. Kyle G says, I think LeBron James realized he's getting older. He sees retirement coming. I'll be honest, Kyle G, when I was watching him the last couple of games, I'm thinking, this dude's going to retire, probably sooner than later. But Kyle says that's tough and something every pro has to deal with. He's just lame for constantly bringing up his injuries and accolades because he's so worried about his legacy. Yeah, that was the thing. He did have, come on, Phil, you got to admit, boo-hoo moments at the end of the last 2 games. One where he walks off the court 5 minutes before the end of the game. The other where he didn't go to the good game handshake line. He just walked off the court again.
Look, the walking off the court, there's another game to come up next. That one I'm
not
will
for
not be giving you.
not for game 6. No.
Well, I was walking off the court for game
It doesn't
5,
matter.
whatever it was. Yeah.
Game 5.
Game 5. That one I won't give you. But the last one, it was a bit much. It was a bit sad. And
No, they're both bull crap.
So Phil, again, I'm not trying to attack you today, but you're okay with a guy leaving his team, the supposed leader and captain of this team, leaving his team on the floor, letting them go ahead and finish out the game while he just traipses off into the locker room?
Do you know how much legacy and how much time this guy has spent on the court? You don't think
It's not an answer.
You don't think that he knows that how long and just that it's a middle of a blowout game? What does that do for him? Instead, he can start getting with every minute, every second that he possibly can to rehab his injury.
That's weak, man.
No,
that is
no.
weak.
It's not weak.
It's very weak.
I mean, I understand your answer. I don't agree with it, but
I don't
but
think he
understand what
agrees
you're
with
saying.
it. Phil knows he's
Yeah.
talking boo-boo.
That's just not, in my opinion, that's not one of the greatest basketball players ever. A leader does not leave his guys behind. I'm sorry.
It's like a very unstable deck of cards to call him the GOAT even of his era, because what he has done to build that narrative by going and surrounding himself with other players to make him look even better. Now, I got to admit, though, he is dominant when he was dominant. There are things he would do. And even in that series of the Suns, some shots, I'm just like, wow, how did that even happen? So I'm not saying he ain't good, but I think to try to build up to a Michael Jordan-like GOAT status, he kind of he kind of rigged the game a little bit for himself, more than these other guys had to.
More than these other guys. Are you talking about Michael Jordan playing with the top 50 cohort with
you didn't know that's what he was until they get started.
I didn't know that that's what he was, but he turned
He
out
didn't
to be
go
that.
get people. They had
Dennis
a GM who nobody liked, but did a very good job of bringing the right
So
people
because
in. But you didn't know on a draft night that guy was going to be that or that. But LeBron James knew when he was recruiting superstars in what they are.
And why does that make it any worse? When have we as people outside of sports ever not done a job that we wanted to do? Not been in places that we at least put ourselves in? It makes complete sense where you would want to put yourself in favorable positions and put yourself in favorable circumstances, even if it was you're playing with checkers or something. You're like, hey, do you want to be red or black? Well, I'd rather go first, so I'm going to be red today. And there's certain situations and times in life, and I don't understand how we can, just because he's the one who started the player empowerment movement.
I'm not easy. It's not about the player empowerment that I'm against. It's if you're trying to say, LeBron James is the GOAT. Well, the GOAT will become the GOAT no matter who's around him. But he has had to bring people around him to elevate himself up and allow himself to be what he has become.
That's not true. And whenever we look at Tom Brady, do you think that he's not boosted a little bit by having Bill Belichick?
Like Michael Jordan showed up and whatever was going on, he went through it. And then towards the end, he left. And he took his greatness to another team and just won a damn another Super Bowl. He's proven himself what he is. Michael Jordan proved himself what he was. He left, came back, and was still great. LeBron, I'm not saying he's not something special and great, but he's not a GOAT. I think he had to build himself and PR himself and create his own playground to be the GOAT.
Tom Brady with those first 3 Super Bowls having top 5 defenses, not even top 10, top 5 defenses in the NFL, having the best
defenses aren't why he's the GOAT. It's the low quality of wide receivers that he's had to work with outside of Moss in his entire career that has shown you that he's the GOAT.
Nobody considered him the GOAT of even the NFL or NFL quarterbacks in the top 10 quarterbacks at the time that he won those Super Bowls. It was a high discussion. It wasn't until we got to about Super Bowl number 5, number 6, somewhere in there, where he was even in discussion against Peyton Manning. People still favored Peyton Manning in his own generation.
I still do.
As do I.
888-368-1580. Kyle says the way Denver's playing defense will leave one guy open for the Suns. If they keep passing well and hitting mid-range threes, Suns only have to contain Jokic to win this series. Kyle G, thank you for that. Just a Tip says, she sounds like the offspring of Kermit the Frog, Gomer Pyle, Foghorn Leghorn, and Carol Burnett. Like they had a 4-way.
Oh my.
Wow.
Napa Bob says, Jeffrey, why do you stereotype NASCAR fans with that phony Billy Bob Hick voice you do, where they only drive pickup trucks with Confederate flags? Plenty of suburbanites like the NASCAR. Yeah, but it's just more fun to do it my way. Lost Toby says, need to bring Davis to dress as the Greek freak's little brother, get in the game and break some nuts. I don't think
went so many directions.
I don't think that anybody to be fooled. He'd have to finally shave the eyebrow, and he's currently still hurting. Berg says, "Go Suns." Now, by the way, you may have noticed that ever since I'm scrolling back, since the Suns went on this run, I think May 17th. Ever since back then, all he will text is "Go Suns." And he sent me a message on Twitter the other night, and I was like, "Hey, do you even listen to the show? Because it seems like you're just firing off "Go Suns." He's like, "No, I'm totally listening." And he started rattling off a bunch of stuff that happened on the show, and threw in some "Suck it, Phil." But he's like, "No, this is the good luck thing. I'm the good luck charm. Every day I send "Go Suns." And when they started doing well and they started winning, every day I'll send in "Go Suns." This is I have to do this so they can win. And I'm like, you know what? That is absolutely acceptable. So I'm glad that Berg is out there still listening. And this is a selfless act by a Hall of Fame texter here to the program, sticking with the routine, sticking with their tradition to help make sure the Phoenix Suns get those wins.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, now that you've said it, have you jinxed it?
No, not at all. Not at all. 0%. 0%.
Okay. All right.
Prison Wallet takes issue. He says, your criteria strongman competition is a sport. There is a definitive winner and loser. Well, that's a competition. We've already decided before it is not a sport. Some things are just athletic competition. Some things are games. They're not always going to be considered a sport. And when we originally set that criteria and worked all through every single one of these strongman competitions, awesome, manly, not a sport. Sorry. We got a lot more text sitting here on the text line, and 90% of them want Phil to shut up, but we'll get there. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
For the ones standing guard, for the eagle-eyed, for the knights in shining armor, and for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. Coming up on Wednesday at 1 p.m., Game 2 of Suns and Nuggets is on tap. I'll preview the game and get you all the updates and information to get ready for it. I'll get you updated on the NHL series, was there a closeout, and who is leading the West. Major League Baseball news and notes, NFL OTAs are ongoing, so join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Wednesday, 1 p.m. on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk at 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now, 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve, 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
Shane O'Grady here with Life Changer Loan. And what if I told you you've been duped? Duped into believing that low mortgage rates equal low interest cost. They don't. Even at a rate under 3% for 30 years, you will still pay 50% more for your home. Are you kidding me? Our clients become mortgage free in well under 10 years, and their monthly payments go down, not up. It's not magic. It's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Arizona Mortgage Broker number MB1002031, NMLS number 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100+ degrees. 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Phil in there pushing the buttons, and you guys are on the text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studio in Scottsdale. And yes, I realize I have started a controversy. I started the controversy about the Lumberjack games and the manliest man competitions because, yes, Hefty Lefty, a few weeks ago it came up. I didn't have my nifty It's a Sport, It's Not a Sport guide that we worked very hard on. This is a definitive list of what is a sport, what is an athletic competition, what is not a sport. And I referred back to my notes because for a moment there, I was tempted, and it didn't feel quite right, and I wasn't sure. But saying that the lumberjack games and all that stuff, and I made the mistake of saying, "Oh, that just feels like it is a sport. It must be a sport." No, I made that mistake because it's manly as hell. Those things are manly as hell. Caber tossing and I can't even tell you all the stuff they do. The big things they throw.
Stone picking upping.
Sure. Manly is man stuff, lumberjack stuff.
Pulling airplanes.
Very manly. And yes, there's an athletic element to it. And they do have ways of figuring out it's not subjective. But that doesn't make it a sport. It's just a manly display. It's a kind of an athletic competition. It's very, very manly, but it's not a sport. So sorry. I, in a moment a couple of weeks ago, that sort of, got past me. So I got to always keep a copy of this handy. And you guys, I should probably post this up on the internet as a PDF. Everybody can download it. You can play the home game and make sure you have this handy for yourself. The sport, not a sport, athletic competition.
Be a great idea, Jeffco. Yeah, you're right.
So if you have questions, I can answer them. If there are other sports that you want me to give you an answer on, this is something we took a better part of a summer on, I think, Randy, where we kind of took every couple of sports and kind of worked it out.
Yeah, I think it was last summer. Yeah, you're right.
At the very top of the not a sport, it's fake wrestling. And that's where it will always be. Fake wrestling, not a sport. So I hope that explains things. Prison Wallet and Hefty Lefty. I'd sort of forgotten myself when I had said those things. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's not a sport. Jagdog says, Jokic reminds me of Ivan Drago. He hated the United States. Therefore, you got to hate Jokic. America. Can we do that?
Well, I think he means Drago.
Drago, yeah.
Yeah, not Frago.
I don't know. Am I able to really make that connection?
I must beat you.
I don't know. I liked the red nose, he's a cocaine addict angle a little bit better there. But then I just want to drive him to rehab. I don't really hate him. Straight Striper says, you really believe the Suns will raise the Larry O'Brien trophy? It's the Jim Nantz trophy. Thank you. At the end of the season, I got the Nets to win it all against the field. Are you in a betting mood?
You've already made one about a tattoo bet with the Nets.
I don't want to jinx the Suns. For all the bravado between Phil and myself, I hate betting that sort of a bet on my team for fear I will jinx them. And that's kind of the way I work things with the Colts. But I think it's a little early for that. I'll tell you what, though, Straight Striper, we get to the finals and it's the Suns versus the Nets. We will make a bet. How's that? There will be bets made. It's a little early, I think, for me to be making that bet. Rusty Nuts says, Phil, that is pure BS.
And
what?
You have to specify.
3:51 p.m. is when he sent it, so it could be any number of things.
Could be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, in the course of 15 minutes, Phil has said many things. Thunder Snow says, I think LeBron did a GOAT. Moist One says, not thinking LeBron is the GOAT. Come on, Jeffrey. You aren't going to like the next conversation brewing. Kevin Durant being the GOAT.
No, that's not a conversation.
I don't know. I mean, if we have to look at all these different eras, and that's how we decided to do GOAT of their time instead of just GOAT overall, because it's impossible to really quantify.
He's not even in that discussion, man. He's too old.
I'm going to have to consider each player, even though there's a crap ton of stuff about him I don't care for.
No. The one who's going to be going next after LeBron is either going to be Zion, Luka, maybe even somebody like Jason Tatum, looking at Ja Morant. Those are the type of players that we should be looking at. Kevin Durant's too old. He's too aligned to LeBron.
We can also accept a period of time where there is no GOAT.
No.
Randy?
I totally could. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much talent. I was just going to make a comment about Zion. I don't see what's so special about this kid. What has he done for this New Orleans Pelicans team? I mean, he shows up there. The guy is a phenomenal basketball player, but show me why he's going to be the next. I don't see it. All the guy is a power basketball player. I mean, he just drives to the hoop and makes these fantastical dunks and jams. It's not like he sits outside and has a pretty 3-point shot. It's not like the guy can, juke a dude out of his shoes. It's not like he's going to the free throw line because he's got all these mad moves that guys have no other choice but to foul him. Look, Zion is a freak of nature, and he goes to the hoop and just has these bombastic, jams. But I don't think he's the best basketball player out there.
Well, no, but he would be bubbling as such. Whenever we look at basketball players, usually everybody goes into different phases, whether it's the first one where you're just establishing yourself as a superstar. If you look at everybody, even LeBron James, those first couple of years at Cleveland, nobody expected him to win, nor did they demand that of him. It wasn't until he started to get to finals where it's like, okay, now let's put some added heft into your career.
But
Giannis.
LeBron was a very special talent right out of high school.
Absolutely.
You could see he had something different that nobody else had. I don't see that in Zion. I don't see that in anybody right now. Maybe Trae Young, as he continued to progress, might be one of those.
Wait a minute.
Step above.
Toby agrees. Trae Young is the next generational player.
I could see that, but I'm not going to name him right now.
How could you put Trae Young ahead of Luka Doncic, who's had far more postseason success, far more regular season success?
Luka Doncic, you know what? He does not have that it factor as far as I'm concerned. Yes, he's a wonderfully talented basketball player, but he's no LeBron James. I have to stand there with you.
There's only one GOAT. But if we're talking about eras, which was what Jeffrey had preset for us, I would say Luka has a better shot than
Luke is going to have to do something more than what he is right now. Right now, he's just a good basketball player.
Right.
I don't see what all the love is for Luka right now. I mean, the guys, John Moran is, in my opinion, a better basketball player than Luka Doncic.
888-368-1580. Lost Toby still hating on the Suns. Says every time I say Suns are going to lose, they win. So game 2, Nuggets 114 and Suns 109. So
there we go.
That's going to backfire too, buddy. It's just the way it works. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, did I hear you say Hall of Fame? Did I miss it? Did I get in? Jeffrey? No, Boomer Sooner. Berg is an OG HOF. Old guard Hall of Famer right there. I know it's original gangster. I wasn't going to correct. Heelbin Mike says Kyrie Irving hit the biggest shot in Cavalier history. LeBron got all the credit. Yeah, it totally mind screwed that guy. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my Lord. He had the biggest block in NBA history. If you want to go tit for tat, calm down.
SOL says stone picking upping. That's my favorite non-sport. Yeah, I got to write stone picking upping on the list of what is a sport and what is not a sport.
Right.
Stone picking upping.
Yeah.
President Wallet says kind of athletic. I agree. It's not a sport. It's a competition. Just like, to be Phil sometimes. I put in a cape and dance around with my penis tucked between my legs, and that is more of a competition, not a sport. Wow. You lost us there, President Wallet. I
think you were trying for something.
You went all Silence of the Lambs on us with that. I don't think there's anything.
You missed the basket entirely with all that lotion.
Yeah. It's gonna make your fingers slippery. Everything's slippery, really. Straight Striper says, come on, Jeffrey, consider a bet. If Brooklyn Nets win the championship, Phil's tattoo is forgiven. You make an undisclosed but substantial donation to your charity. But most importantly, you have to be nice for a day. I guess I'll just take that day off. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm very nice.
That would be nice. That would be nice, yeah.
I'm very nice. When am I not nice? Randy, serious. When am I not nice?
When you first wake up. You're a little grouchy.
Yeah, I remember when Randy texted you that they got Carson Wentz and he was only met with anger.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why.
You're a little grouchy.
How about you people don't be jackholes all the time and I'll be nice?
Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You got to go through those 4 steps, buddy.
I don't have to go no steps. Take those steps, shoving up your butt. I've kissed mom. No. I'm nice. I'm telling you right now, I'm nice.
You knew not to say kiss mine because you knew
I
was.
Yeah, that's not an invitation.
You self-edited yourself.
Straight Striper says, if the Nets lose, I'll get a Suns tattoo with Phil. If the bet is accepted, our attorneys will need to review the terms. Well, Straight Striper, it's already been decided that Phil's going to get the tattoo sooner than later. But wait a second. I got to go back and find out where Straight Stripers, where your allegiances lie when it comes to basketball. Are you not already a Suns fan? So that that doesn't make a very good bet. Just the Tip says, I lived in rural northern Minnesota for years. The Still Timber Sports series came through our town once a year. We'd put our claimers aside and go watch the Lumberjacks. Timber Sports has every facet required to be a sport. It's a badass one at that. It's badass competition, Just the Tip. A badass competition. It's athletic. It's manly. It's not a sport. Moist One says, it's coming, Phil. I'm not saying I agree, but just you wait, Phil. Age has nothing to do with it. There are people that believe he is better than LeBron. He's talking about Kevin Durant. By the way, he says, may as well talk WNBA with the player knowledge there. What?
Kevin Durant, the age does matter. Yes, his game will age rather well because whenever he's talking about that scoring ability, his game is not precedented on full athleticism. There is that ability to just jump up, and because of his reach and the over arc, he's shooting from like 10 feet above anybody else. So that will age quite nicely, but it doesn't mean that he is, ever will be, or continues to be the best player in the NBA. Calm down.
I was thinking of maybe starting up the WNBA conversation about lowering the rims, but
oh boy, not again, Jeffrey. I can't let you do that.
Lost Toby is saying something I think might be worse. He says Luka Doncic is Steve Nash type quiet superstar.
I don't know.
Steve Nash wasn't that quiet, and Luka is now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that your? Yeah, he's a great player. I don't know.
He's a tremendous guy. He's nearly averaging for his career a triple-double. And look, he's going around and he's pushing these people to the brink of elimination. In his first go round for the Clippers, he came away one Kristaps Porzingis injury away from what I believe to be knocking him out. He didn't. Now we go to this year. He took him to a Game 7, took it to a historic run where history was being made with him and his team. We'll see in this offseason. I wonder and think that they will be adjusting and perhaps moving away from Kristaps Porzingis. And we'll see how that team adjusts because nobody can do it alone. But even Luka is trying to do it alone by pushing perhaps one of the best teams in all of the NBA to a Game 7.
I will say this about Luka Doncic. If he doesn't do something about his conditioning coming into the season next year and he runs out of gas like he did this year, remember, he came into this season having to tone himself up and get himself back into player shape. You want to be the greatest of all time, then you work on it 24/7. You do that around the clock or every day of the year. There are no off days. You make sure your body. See, that's where LeBron James out hustles Luka Doncic.
You do.
LeBron James was working on himself and working on his conditioning as he aged even more and more. And that's where Tom Brady does too.
Yeah.
My point is that LeBron James is not a leader like a Tom Brady. LeBron James, if he was a leader of a team, he would have stayed out there, taken his sneakers off, don't go back in, but stay with your guys, and you walk off the court with your guys.
Absolutely right. Hefty Lefty, I tell you what, he has, I don't know, the memory banks of a wife. What I mean by that is, but he said that I said that a couple of weeks ago that the strongman competitions are a sport. He says, May 11th, 3rd hour, 29 minutes in, you go on a record as saying strongman's a sport, along with Highland Games, that they are athletes. Thank you, Podcast Archive. All right, listen, I was wrong at that time. You guys have really mistaken me for a regular sports talk show host who's always going to say they're right no matter what, who's never going to admit when they're wrong, who's always going to be bombastic, and I'm the smartest person in the room. You guys notice how many questions I ask on this show? I ask more questions than I have opinions. I value all of your guys' thoughts and opinions. What other sports talk show host does that? And so I'm not putting myself out here as any kind of an expert, and I'm not putting myself out here as a know-it-all. And but I was mistaken on May 11th in the 3rd hour at 29 minutes when I said that, because we had originally, as a show, decreed that the strongman competitions aren't a sport. I got carried away thinking about how manly it was, and that clouded my judgment on what is a sport. So we're all right. And I was wrong. Does that make you guys happy? Because it's still not a sport. Heelman Mike says, everyone talks how Jokic is the greatest big passing man ever. Maybe Sabonis after him. What people fail to know is only one center ever led the league in assists. The true GOAT, Wilt Chamberlain. Plus, he banged
that's
like
for sure.
10,000 women too. So yeah,
you had them lined up there. Yeah.
Lightning Bolt says, when did the GOAT become a good thing? Used to be the guy who blew the game was the GOAT. Yeah, I always thought the same thing, Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
And then it became that acronym that went the other way. So I don't know. Senior Wake and Bake
Kind of
says,
like the word thongs.
what?
It used to mean sandals.
Yeah, flip-flops.
Yeah.
That's what I always heard. They're thongs.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, this is some string of underwear that goes up your butt.
Yep.
Senior Wake and Bake says Phil's favorite flavor, Welcher sour grapes. He's not welching.
Yeah, since when?
He hasn't welched
I
yet.
have yet to say or even bring up an excuse for the Lakers. The only thing I think is a reason, which is injuries, but I'm not saying that it's all that. He played in a fair amount of games.
I'm going to go ahead and disallow that last comment, Senior Wake and Bake, but I will give you your previous where LeBron and Phil are goats, garbage eating types. That's right. Go Suns.
That doesn't garbage eating types. That doesn't even stand for GOAT.
It doesn't matter. Just better than what he said there before.
Yeah, well, it's better, but it goes from a -5 to a 1.
Now, Senior Wake and Bake. Phil, why you no tattoo?
That would be gets. That would be get.
You're right, Randy.
He's a get. Yeah, garbage eating. Yeah, that would be a get.
It's okay. Cheese Skulls Burner says, Jeffrey, we appreciate your knowledge and your takes. Hefty Lefty is way out of line, and I'm offended in the non-Phil attack that he brought. Don't be offended. There's nothing worse than being offended for somebody else. And Hefty Lefty's right. I said it, but I've explained it, and let's move on. Prison Wallet says, well, given the fact that I used to be a power lifter just a few years ago, I can tell you certainty is absolutely a competition. You're an athlete in a competition. Yes, right here. Again, Prison Wallet. I don't want to sound like Phil, but calm the hell down. It says athletic competition, not a sport. And that's where the manly competitions are. Okay. So nobody's taking that away from you. I'm just saying it ain't a sport.
You put that up to the camera. So I think you better do some splaining here, Jeffrey.
What's that?
Because right at the top is like ice dancing and figure skating, ribbon dancing, and you're trying to sell Prison Wallet on this manly competition being in.
It's just the first thing that's on the list, like over here, not a sport.
Ice dancing.
And there's even exclamation
wrestling
points next to it.
Yeah. But as you go down,
oh man,
sack race, wife carrying, rafting, lumberjack game,
wife carrying.
That's a thing. I'm not even kidding. That is a thing. Archery, tug of war, CrossFit, roller derby, tag, skeleton, handball, racquetball. Those are just games, just fun. That's all. So don't get bent out of shape there, Prison Wallet. Just a Tip says, Jeffrey, Secretariat or Tony Hawk? Why do I get those? Tony Hawk, he did it better and longer. Have you ever seen a horse on skateboard? Not a pretty picture. Gonna always be Tony Hawk on that one. Killer Rabbit says, on May 11th, Jeffrey, you went to commercial too early. I remember that. That has never happened, Killer Rabbit. I guarantee you that never happened. Have I ever gone to commercial break early, Phil, that you can remember?
A couple. Well,
never.
On your own, on
0%
your own,
of time.
on your own, or me just giving you about a minute out, and then you taking it early within there.
I don't think we've even done that.
We've done that like
technical
twice.
issues,
Twice.
maybe.
Twice.
President Wallet says, "Holy bleep, Jeffrey! I agree with you. It's not a sport. It's a competition. Given the fact that I was an athlete in the competition, I'm verifying your opinion. It's not a sport. Why are we yelling at each other?" I don't want to also yell at a guy with a cape that's dancing around with his penis stuck between his legs. So, you win, Prison Wallet. I'm
fine.
right.
I'm fine with yelling at people like that.
Boogie, oh no, he's going to die on this hill. He says, curling's a sport. No, it's not a sport.
Heart of a champion,
It's not a
Boogie.
sport.
Heart of a champion.
Augie says, once again, Raider fan, I mean Suns fans, you guys got lucky and you win one game, and now you think you're going to win the championship. Face facts, call us Laker fans when you win 17. Oh, we will. Have no doubt, Augie. We will. But even if we don't, still won more games than you guys, right? Raise your hand if you have a team that got to the second round of the playoffs.
Within the
Not
past
so
year?
fast, Phil. Put that hand
Within
down.
the past year?
No.
We made it
in
all the way
this
to the
season.
finals and won.
In this season, you bubble championship shirt wearing loser. By the way,
Shirt wearing.
you've only been a Laker fan for like 3 minutes. So shut up. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me. My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Introducing in-person payments from PayPal, a touch-free way for your customers to pay and tip. Whether you're a hot dog vendor,
mustard, you gotta have the mustard.
A personal trainer,
Don't you drop those knees, Sandra!
or a boba shop.
Brewed to pearly perfection.
Signing up your business is easy. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan, pay, and tip too. Shop safe with touch-free QR code payments. Fees may apply. For more info, go to paypal.com/US/getQRcode.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100+ degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
Everybody, Mark Asher, about to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends that have used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time, and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now, you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
Chances are the technology you work with every day is an afterthought until it isn't working. Technical problems can throw a wrench in your day, but computer security issues can expose you and your customers to serious risk. Affinity Technology builds custom IT solutions that help small businesses thrive. No system is too complicated. If it plugs in, we work with it. Affinity Technology runs Arizona businesses. Contact us today at atechaz.com. That's atechaz.com. Affinity Technology.
It's summer in Arizona, and your summer home for sports has you covered. Don't miss a minute of action from the Arizona Rattlers. Listen to all their home games live on The Fanatic. NASCAR is full throttle. Find out how the season begins to unfold when you hear NASCAR racing live. The NFL ramps up for the 2021-22 season. Get all the updates and info on your home for the NFL in the Valley. It's summertime, and The Fanatic is your summer home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Also at 95.9 FM in the East Valley.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. Augie says, you guys missing football season? We can talk about the Leprechaun, or we could talk about next Super Bowl champs, Dallas Cowboys. Either way, we talk about football now. We are going to talk about football. Of course, Dallas Cowboys will not be going to the Super Bowl unless they get some tickets on discount. But we will be talking, as God is my witness, about some NFL quarterbacks here very shortly. Right now, I just got to clear out the remainder of the text line. Moist one says, sack race. We call it soggy biscuit around these parts. Really? That's not a sport either. Helibin Mike says, what do you get when you cross a goat with a millennial? A weed eater that won't work. Senior Wake and Bake says, you're overthinking the real goats. They eat garbage, like Phil in the toilet. King Kitten says Marv Albert announced his retirement, will follow his play-by-play on TNT's coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, he did. And I'm thinking it's going to be Kevin Harlan as the new voice. They kind of have a similar sort of sound to them a little bit. And Kevin Harlan, though, he's got a wicked sense of humor. It can be dry or it can be right up in your face. He's always amazing. When weird stuff happens watching NFL games, Kevin Harlan is the man, and he's always on top of it. President Wallet says Secretariat or John Elway. I think John Elway has the bigger teeth, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
I think that's an easy one, President Wallet. Chief Skulls Burner says Those first 5 athletic competitions are all of Phil's extracurricular activities during the week. Phil, do you ice dance?
Only when it's cold out.
Figure skate?
No, I actually can't.
Ribbon dance?
Is that the one where you're on the ribbon or you're twirling one around?
I think you're just doing one.
No.
Cheerleading?
I do cheer ferociously.
Yeah, you were a football player, so
I was.
You
So I didn't do multi.
Yeah, gymnastics.
I am surprisingly flexible.
Yeah, being limber is not the same thing. And by the way, mountain climbing is not a sport either. That's where I'm going to leave this. Hefty Lefty says, Jeffrey, thank you for acknowledging the past indiscretion. That's why I love this show. And I'll take you at your word from the 11th. No, you'll take me for my word now. And from this document that was predated before that 11th. Augie says, I read that. Random Texter says, I thought they carried on the 4-letter network, so that made it a sport. He goes, just kidding. I can't stand the 4-letter network. Yeah, there's so much stuff on the ESPN that is not a sport. Hey, we'll start with esports. Esports, not a sport. Even if you put the word sport in it, doesn't make it a sport.
Right.
Napa Bob says curling's a sport. If you knew the training and hours these professionals put in at the Olympic level, you might reconsider, as it's not unmanly or unwomanly. I never said it was unmanly or even unwomanly. I just said it's not a sport. If you can drink while doing it, it's not a sport. One tight end butt worked out for the Cardinals today. One tight end butt worked out for the Cardinals today. Santan Scott, was that a voice text thing, or what am I supposed to understand here? What does that even mean? Was it a tight end named Butt with B-U-T-T? Somebody help me out here.
Yeah, Jake Butt. He worked out for the Cardinals today, and he remember he injured his hamstring in 2020. That led him on injured reserve,
which is near his butt. Dr. Maxter says, guys, the jobs are below the belt. Now, as a result, it's time for tag team wrestling. Randy, remember when we used to do that on Friday nights at the Akron Armory? Did we lose Randy?
No, I'm still here. I'm just trying to figure out what Maxter's trying to say.
This is your lifelong friend saying he used to. He says, you and I used to take on Johnny Powers and Bulldog Brower. I'll bring the broken glass in my shorts and I'll hand it to you when you work over the other guys in the corner as I distract the blind referee. If not, it's time for some good classic rock. How about spending some Bad Company on me here? Rock and roll, fantasy.
Wow. Maxter, you hitting the Defiant whiskey a little early today.
Justin Tip says, filthy people thinking you should just shut up or shut up. Boogie says, curling is a sport. You can drink and play softball, baseball, basketball. Okay, I knew when I said that was a mistake, because all of us have done a lot of those things while drinking. So I withdraw.
Well, I know I've done ribbon dancing while I've been drinking.
You can't do many of these sports while drinking, or you're not allowed to. It's not like you can't go out on like the NFL field there, go over there and just grab a beer, start drinking right there. It's frowned upon at the very least. Hefty Lefty says, Ron Artest would like to disagree with you about the drinking while playing qualification. Yes, I know. Lost Toby says, I love me some Espen and the Ocho. World Cup of Cornhole, National Tag Competition, Marble Racing, World Games, slap competitions. What more sports could you want? None of those are sports, but I do love slap competitions. That I love.
Yeah.
How do you not love two men just slapping the bleep out of each other?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Senior Wake and Bake says, Randy, have you seen Murray on that Avoid the Noid commercial? Is he really in one?
No.
I'm not going to humor the question, because otherwise Randy will blow a whistle at me.
All right. Before we talk about NFL quarterbacks, there is something that aggravated us yesterday live on air, and now it aggravates me a little more. Now, let me just start off by saying I get it. It's the way the scoring works. But when you see that Tom Thibodeau has 2 less first place votes than Monty Williams, it's a little aggravating. It is a little aggravating. But overall, Tom Thibodeau had 351 votes to Monty Williams' 340 votes. And it's the way it works. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's a little aggravating, because we know who the real coach of the year is. Coaches know who the real coach of the year is. And the fact that they voted Monty Williams as the best coach. But, you know, the fact that coaches vote for Monty Williams and the media chooses somebody else. Well, I don't know what that needs to tell you about NBA writers. They watch those East Coast teams, and then they watch the Lakers and nothing else. I don't know who said that yesterday on the text line. They're absolutely right, and this just proves it. 100%.
Well, they not only the Lakers, they watch Golden State, and now because of Zion Williamson, they're watching the New Orleans Pelicans. If Zion's not on New Orleans, tell me one media guy who's taking a look at the New Orleans Pelicans. Whoever that was yesterday is 100% correct. Monty Williams should be the coach of the year, and it's just absolutely asinine that he's not.
Well, as Chris Paul said on the TV last night, coach ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. We know who he is. And that's a good point. We do. But it does aggravate me. It does aggravate me a little bit. But then again, I would imagine there's some people out there that think Tom Thibodeau is an amazing man and coach. Fair enough, I guess. You want to talk about the hockey playoffs?
Let's.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, that they're playing hockey playoffs right now. And last night, the Islanders beat the Bruins, and they took the lead in that series 3-2. The Canadiens, they beat the Jets, and that's over. The Canadiens swept the Jets, and that is done. The Jets never played very well in the entire series, so it makes you wonder, how the hell did they get there?
Well, they just had to win their division and win their way into.
I get that. Just would say, how did they do it? I mean, they played so poorly. It's a surprise to even see them get there.
Oh, this is kind of different. All the Canadian teams played in their own bracket this year. So, in other words, Canada wasn't traveling out of Canada. U.S. teams weren't traveling up there. So we don't really know what we have. All we know is right now, the Montreal Canadiens, for the first time in I don't know how long, are going to go to the Stanley Cup Championship. The final series because they have defeated all the Canadian teams up there, including Winnipeg. So this is actually pretty cool. And the fact that Canada's prime minister has opened the boundaries so that the teams could go back and forth. Of course, they've got their precautions in place. This should be a fun Stanley Cup championship.
Well, for whenever we find out who the other participant will be. But yes.
Well, right now you've got tonight we got the Tampa Bay Lightning playing the Carolina Hurricanes, and that could be over pretty quick if the Lightning take them out, because right now they're up 3-1. And then it's going to be a little bit longer to find out, will it be the Vegas Golden Knights or the Colorado Avalanche? They are now locked in a 2-2 tie on that series. So I know we all want it to be the Las Vegas Golden Knights, but it'll be what it'll be, I guess. I mean, who do you like in that one, Randy? Because there was an evenly matched up, a couple of teams right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Avalanche are more of a gritty, grinded out type of team, and because their hit man has been put in an envelope and set on the shelf, and he's not playing, I think the Golden Knights should have an edge. But the Golden Knights can't seem to get any consistent goaltending, so we'll have to wait and see there. How about the Islanders though, taking on the Bruins? The Islanders with a 3-2 lead in that series. Who'd have thought the Islanders going to take up a really strong Boston Bruins team, a team that I thought was going to go very deep and play in the Stanley Cup this year. But it's just right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The Islanders have a 1-game lead on that series.
Yeah, Barzal is playing lights out. I don't see how the Bruins are going to come back. So another thing that's going on in your NHL playoffs is something, again, that we end up talking about way more often than we should. The officiating. The officiating has been so bad in the playoffs. Connor McDavid didn't draw a single call during 4 games against the Jets, and it's continued. A bunch of coaches out there voicing their hey, these calls or no calls, or this is horrible. And so people are actually putting themselves out there to probably get fined. Bruce Cassidy, he got up on there and he was saying, listen, we're playing a team that has played very well. They got very well respected management, coaching staff, but I think they sell the narrative over there. It's more like New York Saints, not New York Islanders. They play hard, they play the right way, but I feel we're the same way. And the exact same calls that get called on us do not get called on them, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I there's a lot of people saying that there's an NHL officiating crisis going on right now. There's been several instances this year, like that terrible hit early on where the guy should have gotten 8 or 9 games, but he only got like I don't know, a fine, a $25,000 fine or something like that, and they put a player out of commission. The officiating and some of the calls here has been very skewed, very unfair. And I don't know what the NHL is going to do about it. It's kind of the same thing that the MLB has with their umpiring. They've got a union in place. They're somehow locked in. They can't seem to have the authority to do anything about these officials. I don't know what the NHL is going to do, but it is a glaring problem for the NHL right now.
It's a glaring problem for Major League Baseball. Sometimes it's a glaring problem for NFL. Sometimes a glaring problem for NBA. Is this new, or is this just we're noticing this? It's nothing new under the sun.
I think there's a lot of trends that are new, but officials have always been under the microscope. I mean, remember the Lakers and Suns series where old what's-his-face for the Lakers said the officiating is horrible. We're not getting the calls that the Suns are. There's some of that going on, but there's also, you can see certain people like Angel Hernandez in MLB. Completely not a consistent umpire. There's several other guys you can go on and name. And the same thing is happening in the NHL. You get guys out there that get a reputation of being what do you want to put on a villain umpire who makes inconsistent calls or bad calls at the worst times. And they're gonna lay the wood to this guy during the whole game, and nothing is getting done about it.
Is it worth mentioning, though, if you're from the organization's standpoint, whether it be coaches, whether it be players, because if I don't know about in history, but it seems to me the only time that I can really remember ever an outcry from within an organization, this actually working, is probably Phil Jackson and the Bulls, where they were able to get some more favorable calls, or at least finally get some calls against the Detroit Pistons, at least, and say, come on, guys, what are we doing? Can we at least ref the game? And that's about the one time that I've ever seen that actually work. Is it worth mentioning? Is it worth even the fines, the breath of air to say it?
It depends. It depends on the situation. You're right. You get to a point where it's so egregious, and maybe you even call up the owner and say, I'm about to get fined. This has to be done, or else we're just totally hosed. And the owner goes, I got you. Sure. I mean, this is all tip money for billionaires. So for them to come out and do that, it could be a tactical sort of decision to make, just to make sure that your team doesn't get hosed. I mean, I would almost have that as a little pile of money over to the side, break glass when needed to make sure you can speak up and stand up for your team that way. We've seen some bad calls, even with the Suns and the Lakers. And I don't want to hear a word out of you, Phil, because I know what you're going to say, but you know what I'm going to say. But I'm going to leave it there and just say bad calls. And
so let's not say it.
Yeah. Stuff that makes you scratch your head and think, okay, does the NBA tell the referees kind of how to call games to try to get what they want? Does the NFL, does the Major League Baseball, does the NBA? Sometimes you got to wonder, because some of the calls are so egregious and so ridiculous. You got your scratching your head, and what do you have left but a conspiracy theory? Randy, you watch more baseball than I do. Do you sometimes watch a game and think, oh my God, it's almost like somebody wants this game to go a different way?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and I've watched plenty of NBA basketball, and I feel the same way there. NHL hockey is such a fast sport, and a very dangerous sport too. You got pucks that are frozen solid that are flying around the rink at 100+ miles an hour. You have to make split-second calls, just kind of like on an NFL field. You've got to make a split-second call on a play that's happening lightning fast in front of you. Some of these guys get blamed when really they shouldn't get blamed. So you've got some of this competitive beat the ref up because he made a call against your team. But then you've got guys that are like egos. They're running out there wearing the official stripe, and it's gone to their head, and they think they can make calls anytime they want to, just get a little camera time, and they'll make horrible calls. And I'm referring to guys like Angel Hernandez. They get behind plate, and they don't even study tape of how they missed a call. They're just saying, well, that's the way I saw it, so it's a strike. You got these enormous egos out there, and that's what the sports unions need to take care of. They need to take care of some of these egos and get some people out there that want to do it right.
Absolutely right. Helaman Mike says, I had a buddy who just passed away. He used to umpire softball with a beer behind his back. Here's to you, Catfish. You will be missed. You know what? That's softball. If I was playing, I wouldn't be mad about that. I'd probably toast him. There you go, buddy. Catfish, legend. We got to take a break. We come back. We're going to move on. We're going to talk a little Major League Baseball, but then, like I said, we are going to talk some NFL quarterbacks. Swear to God, we're going to do it. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona. When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Listen, when we're all working on our shows here at The Fanatic, we're totally focused and we don't want to worry about the other things. Like the technology that runs our station. That's where Affinity Technology comes in. They run all our IT so we can focus on what really matters, our business and our listeners. These guys handle literally everything. If it plugs in, they work with it. They've saved us tons of money and have kept us focused on what really matters. Affinity Technology, they can do the same for you. Go to atechaz.com. Be sure and tell them I sent you.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher, back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Are you seeing what is going on in the home buying market right now? Unbelievable. Not enough inventory, and there is a ton of demand. Some of these homes are getting 30, 40, 50 offers on them. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to differentiate yourself from the other buyers who are in line? I have a way. Use the Lund Mortgage Team. Lund Mortgage Team is locally owned and operated with over 20 years of experience right here in the Valley. They have a great reputation, and it is a trustworthy pre-approval. And on top of that, they are quick. That's one of the things. You got to come equipped and be ready to buy. So what you need to do is make that first phone call to 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. Get that pre-approval going and then get yourself ready to go buy that home of your dreams. Go online, lundmortgageteam.com, or call 623-875-9940.
Shane O'Grady here with Life Changer Loan. And what if I told you you've been duped? Duped into believing that low mortgage rates equal low interest cost. They don't. Even at a rate under 3% for 30 years, you will still pay 50% more for your home. Are you kidding me? Our clients become mortgage free in well under 10 years, and their monthly payments go down, not up. It's not magic. It's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Arizona Mortgage Broker number MB1002031, NMLS number 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100+ degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. You can hear us on 99.3 FM, 95.9 FM in the East Valley, always at 1580thefanatic.com. Educated sports dude, I keep telling you, you don't have to write your entire name out. We've got you in the system. Educated sports dude says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope all is well. Randy, I have a question for you. Racing question.
Okay. Yes, sir.
What do you think about the new Tony Stewart Racing Series kicking off this week? Are you going to check it out?
Yeah, I probably will, just because I am a longtime fan of Tony Stewart. I followed his career. There were some unfortunate things that happened here towards the end of his career, but overall, I'll check it out and see what's going on. I don't know how exciting it's going to be when you got the likes of Michael Waltrip, you got Willie T. Ribbs in there. You got Tony Stewart, who's still a very accomplished driver. I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sure.
See, now I saw you sort of cut me off at the pass there, talking about Tony Stewart. The correct answer, Randy, would be Tony Stewart's doing something. Oh, I'm dying to see that.
Yeah, bet you are. Guy should have never been on the track.
Justin Tip says the NHL used to have the best route for officials to come up through the ranks, from player who couldn't quite make the game to very good ref. But because the ref could make a decent living, a good thing. But with the cut downs in league funding, these salaries have been chiseled down to the point that the good refs, they make more money selling houses.
Well, I would imagine that's true, but you can't tell me that an NHL ref still can't make a good living at the senior level, at the NHL level.
Hold on. How much can you make selling houses? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, what is it? 6% is your cut?
Oh crap! Here comes the math.
If you're selling $1 million home, 6%.
$6 million?
No, 6%. You get out of $1 million home.
The average salary for a real estate agent in Arizona is $50,640.
Okay, I'm out. 888-368-1580. Right, you made it sound like it was a great thing there.
Top 20% earn closer to $104,000.
Mile High Guy says Avalanche all day, every day.
Avalanche.
Hamilton Porter says if the Clippers, the only big market team left, get to the finals, it's fixed.
I don't know if it's fixed. I mean, if you look at what's trending around, what's in the rumor mill right now, apparently the Clippers have a silent interest and a silent, how would you say this, confidence.
Is it silent but deadly?
It is very deadly. They have a silent confidence that they're going to be able to acquire Damian Lillard this offseason.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. Clippers can never get out of their own way, though.
No, they can. Remember, they were able to get Kawhi and Paul George back when that was touted as a very productive move. I just don't know.
Yeah, but they're going to have to re-sign Kawhi.
Oh, they would love to. They re-signed Paul George just because they thought that's what Kawhi wanted. Kawhi was never the issue. It's Paul George who you're like, Kawhi, do you still want him? Okay, yeah, no, we'll give you 4 years. Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. If I'm the Los Angeles Slippers, I love what Bruce Jacobs says. He calls them the Slippers.
Slippers.
If the Slippers get rid of Paul George and bring in Damian Lillard and get rid of Paul George, they're a better team.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, tonight they start their series against the Mormons, and that's happening in Mormonville, 7 p.m. And
I believe that's the Jazz. Is that what you're saying? The Jazz.
That's what I said.
No, Jeffrey, you said the Mormons.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Jazz. 888-368-1580. Chief Skulls Burner says, I may have missed this conversation. But what does the Blenders Colonel Sanders think of pitchers getting called out for stickum or the spider tack like Garrett Cole of the Yankees? Yeah, they're starting to crack down on substances. And it's funny, somebody had observed that the spin on some of these pitchers' pitches a lot less than it had been because, all of a sudden here comes the feds, right, Randy?
Yeah, Trevor Bauer, pitcher for the Dodgers last year was very outspoken, and I think the season before that about some of these pitchers around the league, specifically Houston Astros pitchers, some of the other teams, their pitchers, their spin rates were just out of this world. There's no way a human could spin the ball like that without some sort of artificial substance. Ever since then, there's been sort of this quiet investigation going on, and now it's been unleashed. And so pitchers, just like batters, will try to gain an edge. Teams will always try to gain an edge by any means possible. And in this case, a pitcher will use a substance to try to make the ball bite harder and break harder or move a certain way. This is an age-old situation in Major League Baseball. It's not it's nothing new.
So here's something else that's not new. Diamondbacks lost again to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, well,
Can I show you how much I have on the page for that?
Yeah,
I just have
nothing.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Are they going to start making some deals, Randy? Are they about ready to get this going?
I don't think so. I think the Diamondbacks will probably start moving some of this inventory, by the trade deadline. I think you'll see a lot of the. I don't know if he's going to go away. He's older. I have a feeling he's going to stay here. But Ketel Marte, certainly somebody you can get some young people to come into your program.
$7.5 million.
Absolutely,
some
David.
money there.
You can see
some too.
The freight train will go away. You might see Nick Ahmed go away. He's a quality shortstop in this league. The Snakes just need to make some moves. I personally, I'll stand by this. I think these guys need to blow this organization up and start over and get rid of the damn Yale and Harvard graduates wearing suits in the front office, crunching numbers.
Yeah. All right. Stay or go. David Peralta.
I think he'll probably go away.
Josh Reddick.
He might stay. He's pretty young, and he's I don't know. We'll
got
have
postseason experience.
We'll have to see about that.
Ryan Butcher.
Ryan Butcher, he'll probably go.
He's done all right for the Diamondbacks. Hakeem Soria.
Yeah, Joaquin Soria. If they can find a good match that brings in some assets or some trade stock for him, they'll probably let him go.
Asdrubal Cabrera.
Asdrubal Cabrera, he might be another guy that you could see go, or that he might stay here.
Old.
He's older, and I don't think any other teams are going to give you much for him, so he'll probably remain on the team.
Cole Calhoun.
Cole Calhoun is a guy that could go to the American League and just tear it up. He came from the Angels. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't move him for some quality young stars or, again, trade acquisition.
Robert Surprise says, shocking, the Houston Asterix cheating again. Was there a story out about that? Did they get caught cheating again?
Well,
they're probably at the top of the list there. I know a lot of people like the Dodgers pitcher. Trevor Bauer has certainly said it's funny how Justin Verlander was just another guy in Detroit, and yet he goes to Houston and his spin rate's up. And if you look at all those pitchers, their spin rate goes up. So the Houston Astros have certainly led the league in spin rate. And that's probably why he's affirming that.
See, and that's another. How in the hell do you measure spin rate? How are you going to measure that?
Well, you watch the O'Reilly Factor, and he can tell.
No, that's no spin. That's no spin zone.
Well, okay. Well, then forget it. I thought maybe he had something to do with it.
Well, no, absolutely. You're right, Jeffrey. Yeah. It's no spin zone. So if he looks at it and he says, "Oh, no, that's far too much spin."
Yeah.
Forget it. I'll just do it live. Forget it. I'll just do it live.
He's an anger ball. I don't know if I trust him. So it's a good point. I will probably by slowing down the video and watching the stitches on the ball and how fast they go. I think that's probably how they determine that.
Yeah, Major League Baseball, these teams, Moneyball is the worst movie to ever come. Although it's a great movie and it's a great behind the scenes type of look at a franchise that used analytics to help it. It's the worst thing to happen to baseball. Moneyball has ruined this game.
Would the worst thing to happen to baseball be that Cleveland changes its name from the Indians to the Avengers? Would that be the worst thing?
I'm so out on this. If the Cleveland Indians would have changed their name to the Avengers. It's not going to bother me either way. I'm indifferent about it.
Yeah, but come on. We don't need to call them the Avengers. The Spiders has a historical context. Guardians has a context that has something to do with Cleveland. They have these statues on this bridge, the Guardians of Traffic. And so it's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Guardians that are relevant to Cleveland. But the Avengers, come on, knock it off. Spiders are Guardians, but I think that's where they should stop. Okay. You got Guardians on the Hope Memorial Bridge, and Spiders is a historical thing.
Well, that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
How embarrassing is it going to be if the Avengers get beat by the Colorado Rockies? We're the Avenger. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the thing, though, Jeffrey, is in order to avenge something, you have to lose in the beginning. So it's not about the first. They will go defeated the entire first half of the season. It's the second half where they will live up to their name.
So they'll have
Los
to
Angeles-
avenge.
Yes.
The Los Angeles Trolley Dodgers, which is originally where the name Dodgers came from, Trolley Dodgers, when they were in Brooklyn, they beat the Giants of San Francisco all the time.
I just don't want them to be the Avengers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They just don't. I don't want. I Spiders or Guardians. And honestly, I don't know why we can't just stay Indians as long as it's not being mean to Indians. As long as it's something that lifts up and appreciates, and something that is positive, something that everybody can agree on as a positive
Jeffrey.
tribute. No, I'm saying,
Would we ever look at the Idaho Whites?
Native Americans were never supposed to be called Indians. It was only because Christopher Columbus was such a dope. He's like, it's India. These are Indians.
The New Mexico Mexicans.
And in India, they don't even call them Indians. They're Hindi. So,
but
Columbus really screwed some things up for us.
Yeah, I come on, man. It's not the Indians is not the
First, he gives
Chiefs.
the Indians smallpox blankets.
Chiefs, the Braves, all these I can get with you, but the Indians is a bit much, Jeffrey.
No, I'm just saying, if there's a way to make it positive, do it. But if there's not, and everybody's mad about it, okay, I guess it's going to be the Spiders or the Guardians. But by God, I'll fight any woman who says it should be the Avengers.
Any woman?
No, I'm not fighting a dude. What are you nuts?
What if her name's Helga?
Still no.
That's too close.
Yeah, it's too close. Probably East Germans are generally men. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is the sound of a blizzard treat at DQ. But it also sounds like a weekend bike ride, a post-game celebration, and a sunset on the dock. Wow, doesn't a blizzard treat sound good? Stop by DQ and grab one today to find out for yourself with just one bite, with flavors like Oreo, cookie dough, and more. DQ, happy tastes good.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has zero issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
I'm Cisco Miranda, owner of Miranda Delivery Service. As a business owner, my job is to provide the best quality service for our customers. Affinity Technology helped us reinvent our business processes using technology to make us more efficient. I didn't know I needed technology consulting, but my ROI has been off the charts. Affinity Technology has saved us more than 80 man-hours a week and has helped me get back to what I do best, focus on my customers. Visit atechaz.com. That's atechaz.com and see how better technology processes can help your small business.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, we've all been hearing about Valley Medical Weight Loss for quite some time now. We've been hearing about how easy they make it to lose weight and keep it off. And we've been hearing about how convenient it is to visit one of their free Valley locations. And we've heard these other guys on the radio station here have success. Yeah, I've heard about it too. So I've joined in and I've already lost 6 pounds in just a couple of weeks. I am so glad I gave Valley Medical Weight Loss a try, and you will be too. Check them out at valleymedicalweightloss.com. And remember, mention Fanatic and you'll get your first week free.
Contractors, are you missing out on jobs due to lack of bonding? When your current bonding holds you back, call Arizona's #1 bond managers at Constructors Bonding. They have the market relationships and expertise to take you where you want to go. Serving all types of contractors of any size, licensed in all states. When you need better bonding, call Dave McKee at Constructors Bonding, 602-432-5929, or visit cbialliance.com.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve. If you or someone you know needs assistance with benefits, health care and wellness, employment, or housing, Visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside my heterosexual life partner, Randy White. We got Phil in there pushing the buttons. You guys are on the text line, 888-368-1580, and we're broadcasting live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And the phones, well, they don't ring. Yeah, they do ring. Phil ignores them because we don't take calls.
Yeah, did you hear earlier on the show there was a ring and I just answered it and I said, "Get out of here!"
That's what you should every time. If there's a phone call, you let me know and I'll get him off the phone that way.
Yeah, you sound like that one senator who's like, and then we're gonna go to Ohio. Then we're gonna go to
Who was that guy? Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
What the hell were you talking about? Thanks for the kind words, Oregon. Appreciate that. 888-368-1580. Shut the up. Fed fan says, what a coincidence. My name is Helga. Do I get to fight Jeffrey? Fed fan, I don't want to fight you. I thought we'd gotten past our troubles from earlier in the week. I'll thumb wrestle you, though. I will thumb wrestle you. That's as far as I'll go. I'm a gentleman. When I make that joke about I'll fight anyone who says otherwise, there's no way I'm actually going to fight a lady. I'm just not going to do it. Unless it's my sister. My sister, we'd throw down. But that's different. Yeah. Usually we just with pillows, Just
I see.
She didn't realize if you get the pillow all wadded up in there, that's like a boulder. Pow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you get the right pillow.
Yeah. Good Cat says, since the LA Flakers were knocked out of the playoffs, the Phoenix Suns, are we still allowed to tell Phil to shut the hell up? No, that has nothing to do with the Lakers. That's just a regular thing.
That didn't spur up just because of the Lakers. That's been a common theme.
But it's nice of him to ask permission.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well done, Good Cat. Santan Scott says, speaking from experience as a former bartender at a Flagstaff bar with a large native customer base, I never once heard complaints about the Cleveland Indians or the Redskins. Well, that's a very small sample size and also in a state very disconnected from that. But I appreciate that. Fed fan says, no, I'm just kidding. You'd kick my butt. I ain't so sure. I've met you. Napa Bob says, Phil, Bill Russell or John Havlicek?
Bill Russell.
Oh, better go with Hondo.
Yeah.
What?
Better go with Hondo.
Are we talking about in a fist fight or
Hondo Havlicek?
I like Bill Russell. He's got 19 rings. Heelbin Mike says, last I heard, the Fishnuts reside in the biggest city in America, Brooklyn. It's a borough of New York City. Sometimes they call them New Jersey accidentally. Analytics ruined baseball. Steroids saved it. Let's go back to steroids, Randy.
No. Mm-mm.
Twitty says, was the Cleveland team named after the ones with call centers or the ones with casinos? They're named after, I would hope, the people who were here before we got here.
The indigenous people of the United States. That's who they were named after.
Kyle G says the Iroquois Indian tribe lived in Ohio, so you could change the name to the Cleveland Iroquois and not even need to change any logos because you have an I, and maybe it could be something that would pay tribute to these fine people.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'd have to take that up with them and see if they're okay with it. And if they're not, then time to move on to spiders or something else. Robert in Surprise says, they have cameras. I can pick up the spin rate just like a golf simulator. So that's how they do it. Yeah, that's how I figured. It was just slowing down a camera or something. Just the Tip says, I heard that Hendricks passed Petty with the most NASCAR wins. Randy, what do you think of that?
Yeah, this past weekend, yes, that is correct. The weekend before, I believe they tied Petty Motorsports for most wins all time. And this past weekend, they made it official. They're now number one in wins all time. Hendrick Motorsports. Yep.
Hey, guess who's back on the text line? Dick Whiskers. He says, "Hey guys,
Hey, welcome back, Dick.
just moved back to Arizona, and I'm stoked to hear your voices again. Just want to say, Jeffrey O'Brien, you're Howard Dean. That impression on point. Dick Whiskers, welcome back to Arizona. And what do you mean you just hearing our voices again? What is it? You could have listened to us all this time with the app or at 1580fanatic.com or many other ways you could have done it online. But I don't know, some people just are like,
Some
nope,
people are purists.
I like to hear it on the radio. Actual radio, please. All right. Well, welcome back.
Or I'm just kind of floating this out here. My conspiracy theory is maybe Dick Whiskers does not have a smartphone. Maybe.
Are you calling his phone a dumbass?
Maybe he's got a flip phone like Bruce Jacobs does.
He's got a flip phone.
Maybe
Well,
he has a flip phone.
Then how is he texting us?
He can send text.
You can text on a flip.
But that takes forever. And his spelling and
I
his
don't know.
punctuation is
I used to
perfect.
be pretty good on that flip phone.
I used to too with
Listen.
one finger.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
didn't
just-
have
I'm just
perfect
saying.
punctuation.
Maybe he does not have a phone that would enable him to take us with him wherever he goes on the free Fanatic Sports app.
Whatever the reason, don't care. Dick Whiskers is back. That makes me a happy man. Welcome back to the Valley
That's all we care
Suns.
about.
Hefty Lefty says, what bar did you work in at Flagstaff? And by the way, Fraulein Helga strikes fear into the loins of many men. That's true. Jeff Van Gundy says, what's up, guys? Just tuning in. Suns game was insane last night. Still feeling a high from that. That Craig dunk got me off my feet faster than Phil after consuming some lactose. That was a great moment in the game. There's a lot of great moments. It just that was just a lot of fun to watch. And he says,
Got him off his feet faster than Phil consuming lactose.
Yeah.
What a great line.
Bruno Baller says maybe the Cleveland Rockers could be another name for the Hall of Fame being there.
Yeah, it could be.
But does that make us think of that jackhole player rocker? What was his name?
Randy Rocker.
No. There was this guy who played baseball.
Randy Rocker.
Was it Randy Rocker?
Was a relief pitcher for the Atlanta Braves for some time.
Yeah, and did he have a mouth on him?
Yes.
Yeah, then I guess that was him. I didn't know his name was Randy. I thought it was something else.
Randy Rocker.
Okay. Just a tip says Randy, Malcolm Reed, or Myron Mixon.
Well, Myron Mixon has been a multiple world champion. Malcolm Reed he just breaks it down, man. He's always in competitions. He does pretty well for himself. I'd have to go with Reed. I have to go Malcolm Reed. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't normally do this, and I yell at Phil. I threaten to turn off the TV in the control room with him. But out of the corner of my eye on the 4-letter network, there's something going on I've never seen before. What the hell is that, Phil? It's a couple of guys and gals, and there's a circle on this grass, and then there's a circle in the middle, and then there's another circle on the inside, and they're like hitting a ball at it.
Yeah, man. That is what is that called? It's spike ball. There we go. It's called spike ball. And it is
the
intense.
dumbest looking thing.
No, man. Take a round. Just watch this. Look at this. Okay, hold on. That wasn't a good representation.
Not a sport.
All right, here we go. Let's look at this.
It's not a sport. Spike ball is not a sport.
I'm gonna go pour some whiskey.
Yeah.
There we go. Look, you're trying and think of all the best parts of volleyball.
No,
and just shorten it.
No, I just stop.
Shorten the shorts.
Well, I got
just start
tons of
spiking.
texts on the text line to get to. I just wanted to bring up
look
spike
at that
ball.
spike.
Not
He just spiked the poop out of that
no,
man.
Stop it. Stop
Spike
it.
the poop.
The backyard game. It's not a sport. Forget it. Dick Whiskers confirms smartphone dumb user. Come on, man. Hefty
okay.
Lefty says, yeah, spike ball. Jeff Van Gundy says, hey, did you guys hear that? Julio Jones changed his number to 2. Is that the honor of the amount of times he'll run for more than 10 yards down the field a game? Well, what happened is AJ said, hey, you want the number 11? And Julio Jones is like, no, man, it's cool. That's yours. You keep it. And which made AJ very, very happy. He was very happy to get to keep it, but he was being a good teammate, offering it up to him. And I guess I thought he was going to go 18, but I guess he changed his number 2. So, all right, listen, they all going to make money off all these different kinds of jerseys and stuff. So it'll be okay. Hefty Lefty says the world of yard games. Chief Skull Burner says, Randy, it was John Rocker. John Rocker. That's
John
what I was
Rocker.
thinking.
What am I thinking? Randy
On
Rocker.
the Braves.
John Rocker. Oh, he was on the Braves. Yeah. Where'd Randy Rocker come from?
Yeah, random texter was on that too. So it was King Gittins.
John.
You were
John
living
Rocker.
out your dreams
John.
in your own head, Randy.
Really, I don't want to be associated with that guy.
Says John Rocker was the
John.
racist.
John.
Jag Dog was on it.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbur was on
Yeah.
it. Heavy
Sorry,
Metal
thank you
Maniac
all.
says it. Terrible
Thank you
human
all.
being.
Thank you all.
Senior Wake and Bake. Wing Guru.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
I didn't think it was a Randy, but I was like, listen, I trust Randy
John
White.
Rocker.
Yeah, there you
John
go.
Rocker.
That sounds right. Napa Bob says, I'm a so-so tennis player, but I'm a good table tennis player for my age.
Yeah.
Never played pickleball, but should I bother playing the pickleball there?
Yes,
Not
you
this
should.
time of year.
Oh, come on. It's great
Well,
exercise. You'll
listen.
be able to sweat your booty off.
Napa Bob has always been a proponent for Phil. I think
Yeah.
the least you could do for all the times Napa Bob has stood up for you is give him a game of pickleball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or-
if he wants to catch these L's, of course. Of course.
Are you talking crap against him?
Name the
Did he-
court. Name the court. I'm not talking.
No, Napa Bob's not talking crap. He's just saying, should I bother? He's like, I've never played
That-
before.
well-
he wants to learn.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're
He should-
talking smack at him?
Well, he should definitely play the game, and then once you institute a challenge, I don't care if it's Madden.
Hey,
I
he's
don't
the
care if it's
competitive
Smash.
spirit there.
I
He's
don't care
asking
if
to
it's
learn.
pickleball.
He's not asking for
He
a
wants you
fight.
to teach him, Phil.
Oh, I'll teach him a thing or two.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Not like that. My lord. My lord.
Wing
Napa
Guru.
Bob, we're sorry.
Wing Guru welcomes Dick Whispers back from the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah.
Thumb wrestling is not a sport, says Prison Wallet. You are
That's
correct.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's not even an athletic competition.
It's an activity.
It's just like a competition, and I am undefeated. So what? Hefty Lefty says, genius move by Julio. You don't have to pay for the number change. Good thinking right there. Fed Fan says, why are you not honoring Boomer sooner by watching ladies softball on ESPN? Well, it's on the other screen. We got 2 screens here. And right now it's 0-0 between Oklahoma and Florida State. And I don't know who these people are. Well, this is the smallest. That is the smallest batter. Oh, no. Okay. No, never mind. Saw the rest of her. 888-368-1580.
Oh boy. Here we go again.
Well, there was a close up, and I'm like, wow, she looks
Here we
puny.
go again.
And then it backed up, and I was like, nope, she's a softball player. Sorry.
Oh boy.
I'm not insulting anybody.
No.
Jeff Van Gundy says, why does Phil continue to text in as Napa Bob? So now he's what? Insulting himself?
Could be.
Yeah, a lot of people think Napa Bob is Phil. Phil is Napa Bob.
The hardest opponent to beat is yourself.
Yeah, you beat yourself all the time.
Every night.
Ooh.
Good Cat says, Randy, may I have 2 beers and a shot of 151, please?
Absolutely. Here we throw that shot for you.
Senior
Yeah.
Wake and Bake says,
Yeah,
keep your
beer,
pickleballs
yeah.
to yourself, Phil.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbur says, Dick Whiskers, where were you? Where you were as bad at Bad Grandpa? There was Grandpa where you were. That he's wondering if he was there with you. But
Bad Grandpa. Gone too soon.
I'm pretty sure he's gone. Yeah, this has been a long time.
Yeah.
Iowa 76ers are up 28-13 over the Hawks.
Bad Grandpa.
I really wish you'd stop doing that with that music.
Wow.
He might not be.
Get you right in the old feelers.
He may not be.
He's probably.
I don't even want to say it.
I can't believe it.
He spiked his last ball into the
I
river
can't-
ocean that is the Thames.
Can't believe it.
Has anybody
Bad Grandpa.
checked
Should we send James?
Twitter? That
Gone
was
too soon.
a brutal inside joke right there. Hey, Randy, can you just put aside your hurt and get Jeff Van Gundy a beer, please?
Just get you right here in the feelers. Here you go, Jeff. Let me get you that beer. Hang on.
He says, can I get a beer for you and a beer for me? A salute, my man. And go Suns.
I'll carry on. I'll carry on.
Gonna delete that.
I'll carry on.
No, I wasn't gonna say it, Fed fan. She says, "Say Thunder Thighs, Jeffrey. You know you want to."
Yeah. See,
I
knew it.
Well, I don't want to, but
That's
if
what you
we're
were
being
thinking.
on, here's another one.
Wow. Wow. Here we go again.
The gal in the batter box, though, she is proportional. She's all right. Can we talk about NFL quarterbacks now?
Boy, I hope so.
Before we do,
yes, what
I
do you
think it's
got?
important that we dissect all the accolades that Nikola Jokic has done by achieving this monumental.
Jokic?
No, Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic.
Yes, he's the first player ever to come out of the second round of the NBA draft to win the MVP. That's actually quite impressive. He nearly averaged a triple double.
But and we care about this because
I'm just trying to.
Who gives a damn?
I'm just trying to get away from.
you
from
know
doing
you're in Phoenix,
quarterbacks.
right, Phil? I mean, you're in the Valley of the Sun, right? I know you don't have the tattoo yet. I know you're a LeBron James and Laker fan, but you know you're in Phoenix. Why do we care about Nikola Jokic stealing away the MVP from our Chris Paul?
Because Randy, if we start talking about quarterbacks, then we'll start talking about Carson Wentz, and he'll start.
I want to talk quarterbacks. I don't
Well-
want to talk about the damn Jokic up there at the Denver Mile High.
We're not going to talk
getting
about
stoned.
Carson Wentz. I'll tell you
With
that.
all
right
his,
now.
Who said anything
nose
about Carson
candy
Wentz?
going on?
You shut your pie hole, Phil. Jeff Van Gundy says, "Can I get a beer for you too, Jeffco?" Absolutely. And a frozen tropical drink for Phil. No, he's too young to drink. No, I said he's too young. I need to see your ID.
I think he's legal.
Just a
He's,
tip says, "Filthy, I'm sorry to say, but a good friend of mine plays the pickleball. He swears by it, claims he scored off the court after scoring on the court." So how's your scoring in pickleball there, Phil?
We are always going on that board. Check the scoreboard, my friend. Check it.
This is getting out of control.
I don't want to talk about pickleball ever again.
Pickleball is a dangerous game.
Napa Bob says, Napa Bob, as I, is a mysterious person who is from many dimensions and done about everything legal except rock climbing and hang gliding. So the oddness of that text as it is, and I did read it correctly, does lend some credibility to it being Phil who's typing these texts out. I am pretty sure Phil is Napa Bob and Napa Bob is Phil.
What?
Yes. I think I'm right.
Do you want me to just Napa Bob? Go ahead and send a message. He doesn't have a message right now, right?
Yeah, he's holding his hands up. Phil's holding his hands up, but I could send a text with some other things. So I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
888
Are you saying I'm that impressed?
1580. That's a good point. You couldn't. Boomer Sooner says, crap, Randy, take that that colada stuff off the air, please. Ugh.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I hate it too.
Listen, it's not me. It automatically fires when somebody says that word. I can't help it.
Mr. Wilbur says, "Are you allowed to say score and pickleball in the same breath?"
Well, you'll
I don't
be
see
doing
why
a lot
not.
of you'll be doing a lot of breathing if you're doing pickleball.
Can we talk about NFL quarterbacks now?
Both. No, we got to go to break.
God damn it. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
NASCAR Championship Weekend returns to Phoenix Raceway November 5th through the 7th.
A wild season of unexpected will culminate in Phoenix with drivers putting it all on the line for their shot.
And earning the title of NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Featuring 4 championship races in 3 days.
Don't miss your chance to witness history from atop the grandstands as the action goes 5 wide into the iconic dog leg.
Or from up close with access to the fan-friendly infield experience.
Get your tickets to see the NASCAR Championship in person.
Go to phoenixraceway.com.
Hurry, tickets won't last much longer.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Are you seeing what is going on in the home buying market right now? Unbelievable. Not enough inventory, and there is a ton of demand. Some of these homes are getting 30, 40, 50 offers on them. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to differentiate yourself from the other buyers who are in line? I have a way. Use the Lund Mortgage Team. Lund Mortgage Team is locally owned and operated with over 20 years of experience right here in the Valley. They have a great reputation, and it is a trustworthy pre-approval. And on top of that, they are quick That's one of the things you got to come equipped and be ready to buy. So what you need to do is make that first phone call to 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. Get that pre-approval going and then get yourself ready to go buy that home of your dreams. Go online, lundmortgageteam.com, or call 623-875-9940.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100+ degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic is now your exclusive home for the 6-time world champion
Indoor Football League's
Arizona Rattlers.
Tune in to the Fanatic for all of the fast-paced, hard-hitting action.
Listen as the Arizona Rattlers vie for the playoffs and their 7th championship in team history. Arizona Rattlers football, exclusively on your new home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com. Stanley Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. We are going to talk about NFL quarterbacks, but really fast. A little man talk for you guys. First, I have the smartest man and the dumbest man in the same story. This has never happened before. Dumbass of the day, and accreditation goes to the following. Headline, artist sells invisible sculpture for $18,000. Now, when I say it's invisible, it's not see-through. It's not glass. It's non-existent. An Italian artist sold an invisible sculpture for $18,000 and had to give the buyer a certificate of authenticity to prove that it was real. It's titled Lo Sono, which means I am in Italian. So here's the thing. Smartest guy ever, guy who was able to pull off selling invisible sculpture for $18,000 is just nothing. He's just sold nothing. And the dumbest person ever, the person who bought it.
I mean, what the heck? What?
Yeah.
This guy said, hey, isn't it the beautiful? Okay. You say
No.
my last creation. Yeah, I call it I am.
Yeah. Here's what he says. And a vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy. Even if we empty it, there's nothing left. According to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, nothing has a weight. Therefore, it says energy is condensed and transformed into particles that is seen to us.
I didn't know this guy was like a Swedish Italian.
Yeah, well, that's
kind of sound a little Swedish Italian.
Well, Salvatore is Italian. Garo is that's
Swedish,
Scandinavian.
Okay,
you were close.
All right.
So that's the smartest and dumbest person I've ever heard of.
And this guy actually bought it and paid $18,000 for nothing.
Yeah. So it's amazing that this artist sells it $18,000. And how dumb do you need to be? And they bid on it. So somebody was like, I'll start the bidding at 1,000. Everybody's kind of giggling.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Dude, those people have way too much money. Way too much money.
And this is not the first invisible art that he has sold either, by the way.
What?
Yeah, he's sold some other things too.
He's a real person, right? He's not like a
he's
talking box or
no.
He's an actual human being.
Real person got the real money, and these people got a piece of paper saying it's over there. Where?
Oh my God!
Well, trust me, it's right there. And you saw the picture. I saw this picture online, and they just basically had taped a square on the ground and said, "That's where it is. Don't step there." How dumb is that person that bought it, huh? How dumb is that person?
Dude, Jeffrey, that's it. Where was this? Where was this at?
Italy.
In Italy?
Italy.
Okay, pack your bags. We're going. You and I are going to sell. I'm going to fill up a glass of water, and we're going to sell that for $1.3 million.
Okay. So that was And now that was the water at the Last Supper that Jesus said,
No, we don't even have to make it
"No, I'm
up.
good."
This is God's creation. It's made out of hydrogen and oxygen, and it's in a perfectly clean glass. We start the building at $1 million. The bidding begins there. Go ahead.
We can get
What do I
$8 at it
Wait,
at a Diamondbacks game
1.1?
for it.
No
Wow.
need to actually religify it. Let's not make it religious.
I want
What-
it to be Jesus's extra water that he just didn't get around to drinking.
See,
No.
why don't we do
No.
this? Why don't we say
No.
that this is the purest form of wine? That's all you need.
That
to
it's
say.
it's just water.
And it's just water.
Huh.
I don't think you need to make it religious at all. You just need to say this by itself is the purest wine you'll ever drink, and they won't know the difference.
But wine comes from grapes, Phil. That's not going to work.
Pack your bags,
Yeah.
Jeffrey. We're
But
going.
you know what? Phil's idea is no worse than the invisible sculptures idea. So 888-368-1580 against the spread says, gentlemen, I don't want to hear anything else about Jokic from Denver. DA outplayed that uncircumcised piece of Euro trash last night. What the hell? How do you know he's uncircumcised? No way he can outplay DeAndre Ayton in 7-game series. Ayton is too athletic, too smooth. He's getting meaner every day. He's the next generation Robert Parrish. Watch out, NBA. Go back to the uncircumcised part.
Yeah, can we confirm that? Do we?
But isn't Jokic the new reigning MVP of the NBA? I mean, how can
That's
we say
true.
that DeAndre Ayton can outplay the MVP if this guy
He did
is
last
indeed
night.
the MVP? How is it that he can outplay the MVP? I don't see that's possible.
Well, he did last night. He did play a better game last night. Now, I wouldn't expect that Jokic is not going to step up his game and make a series of it. But at least at this moment against the spread, you're right.
Who's the coach of the Nuggets, Phil?
Malone. Not sure what his name is. It's not Carl, but it's Malone.
Hefty Lefty
Mike
says, what's the name of the guy who won? I'm trying to sell Schrodinger's cat. Well, is that cat alive or dead? Yes.
We don't know.
Mike Malone. Yeah.
Well, actually, we do know. It's both alive and dead at the same time until you open the box, Randy. That's the way it works.
1.1 million right there. We'll start the bidding there.
That works for me. Baker's Cocky Hen says, I've got an invisible Michael Jordan rookie card and a Peyton Manning rookie card for you.
Yeah.
And, by the way, you can increase the desire and looks for Broncos cheerleaders by having all invisible cheerleaders instead of their current options.
Wow.
Random Texter says, but Jeffrey, that art was sold for $18,000, had confined space markers around it. So it's legitimate, which, by the way, anytime you want to move that artwork, you just have to peel up the tape and go put it someplace else.
Take it with you.
Yeah. King Kitten says, so I just watched a few minutes of Spike Ball and I feel dumber for having done so. I want that time back, Phil. I want that time back.
Well, it's not really a watching sport, I feel you get a lot more enjoyment out of playing.
I wish I'd never looked over in that direction. Well, what do you want from me? I got women's softball over here, so I had to look over there. I don't know what to look at anymore. Bruno Baller says you can buy a lot of Swedish meatballs for $18,000.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, he says I've never played pickleball, but I've seen it played. It looks like ping pong on a tennis court. Is that a appropriate analogy there, Phil?
Is it like ping pong? The ball's not really live though. It's not a tennis ball, right?
It does have holes within it, so it's definitely much more wiffly. I don't know. What I've always contributed it as, if somebody does not know what it is, I say think of the perfect compromise between ping pong and tennis. It's right in the middle. It's outside, but it
so
also
is it
has
on
a lighter
tennis
ball.
court, or does it have its own?
It has its own court because it's much smaller dimensions.
Okay.
President Wallet says, Randy, I just had Knob Creek 100 proof this weekend, and that one is something special. Needed a little water with that one.
Yeah, that's nice there. Need a little water with you. But yeah, Knob Creek, very good.
Fighting Wampa says, I was wondering when Randy was going to get his Julio Jones Arizona Cardinals jersey.
Well, again, I had my wires crossed. I for some reason,
he's still right.
I'm right. I am correct. I just had him on the wrong team, and I apologize for that. So, hey, what are you going to do? Hey, welcome to Arizona, Julio. We're going to beat your ass and then send you home. All
Week
right,
one.
there you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Dick Whiskers says, it has been scientifically proven that people who play pickleball have a tendency to wear pocket protectors and collect Star Trek memorabilia.
Wow.
Is that really proven?
Wow.
Okay.
Did that come out via Harvard? Or Yale? Maybe Dukies?
Listen, I'm not going to question the validity of Dick Whiskers' research.
Oh,
right
yes.
now.
of course.
Neither should you.
Yeah, no. When the report comes out via Dick Whiskers, I'm sure that
Yeah.
it will be world renowned.
By the way, whoever's on the text line, knock it the hell off, because now if I don't read your text, it's somebody else's fault, not my fault. Yeah, a whole lot of stuff just went gone. Baby Got Dak says Jokic got named MVP, first center to be named since who? Anyone?
Karl Malone?
Randy?
Shaquille O'Neal.
You are correct.
Oh, there we go.
You are correct. Well done, Baby Got Dak. Well done, Randy White. Random Texter says, no, you can not only can you buy a lot of meatballs for 18,000, you can buy a lot of bull crap for 18,000 too.
Yeah, well, that guy did.
Yeah. Just a Tip says, if Napa Bob is filled, then I moisten the tip. Well, no, we told you have to be just the tip. We couldn't do moisten. He says, listen, I don't know if DeAndre can completely contain the jock itch, but he can match him at either end of the court and make jock itch work hard every second, which I'm not sure jock itch, that's his best game. Jokic. We're talking about Jokic.
Yeah, that was not Jokic's best game whatsoever, but I could argue, I could make a very fair argument that was DeAndre's best game.
All right. Well, if he can keep doing that, then maybe he's found his mojo.
Oh, if
maybe
he can
he's
keep doing that,
found his game.
The Suns have a complete team with very limited weaknesses.
Prison Wallet says being outside and being active is fantastic, regardless of your activity. People who criticize other people for being active and healthy are usually fat and out of shape slobs. And that's a scientific fact. But that is a really stupid sport, Prison Wallet. While everything you just said about me is correct at the moment, I'm still right. Hefty Lefty says practice in November after consistently overdoing lunges adds destructive acid. Somebody else is on acid. Floppy Bumper says, actually, people who play pickleball have a tendency to be long since retired and live in Heaven's Waiting Room, also known as Sun City. Also correct, I have to admit.
Waiting room. Wow. I love that.
Wow.
Let me give you a little something here. Now, the other day on the Twitter, Randy, I asked you a question. You remember the question I asked? I said, if you were going to have to fight one or the other, which would you rather fight? As a man, do you want to fight an alligator or do you want to fight a bear?
Yeah, but you also put the caveat in there, or if they made it and had some sort of super, predator.
Half bear, half alligator.
Yeah. So variegator or Alabear. Yeah. And you asked me how I would do that. Well, I said I would go in guns blazing and then have a big party, and I would smoke meat over hickory and apple wood. And I invite the fourth dimension. That's what I said.
And that was a very popular response, but it was also not quite what I was looking for. Because what I was looking for there is if you were to, fist fight an alligator or a bear.
Fist fight.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm taking alligator then.
So, yeah, a lot of people say that. Yeah, I'd rather try to contain an alligator than a bear, and with the claws and stuff. But weirdly, after I put that question up on the Twitter, two stories came out that actually address that very thing.
Okay.
In Florida, of course, it's Florida, right?
Of course.
Well, that's where the gators are. So, this dude suffered a skull fracture, and because here's what happened was he decided he's like, I'm going to go look for shark teeth, and he's swimming along there, and he looked around. I don't see no gators. So then he wasn't even using scuba tanks. He was just free diving, trying to find shark teeth. Something I guess he does for charity. How that translates to charity, I don't know. Anyway, so he goes down, takes a few deep breaths, goes in the water there. He's like, all right, I'm going to find me some shark teeth, and looking through the gravel. And he was like underwater 45 seconds when the alligator jumped him and grabbed him by the head.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
By his head? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
There's a photograph here where you can see the damage. So this is not just being made up.
The alligator grabbed him by his head.
Yeah,
Okay.
you see there on the camera right there?
I see that. Yeah. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, that guy, half his skull looks like it was about to come right off.
Wow.
So after the initial bites, he was able to back away, climb back on the riverbank, and then the alligator lunged at him, and then he was able to scramble back, but he was bleeding profusely. An ex-firefighter at a restaurant right there by where he was at bandaged his head. People called 911, and he was lucky. He said, I was in a public place where people were able to come over and help me. And so here's the sad thing, though. Florida Fish and Wildlife people, they went over there and they're like, well, we better get these gators out of here. And you know what that means? They killed the gators.
Why didn't they just relocate them?
They say they're nuisance gators. And what they do is they trap them and then they process their meat and their hide and all that stuff. Sometimes they send them off to a zoo or an exhibit, but that don't seem right. That gator is just like, hey, look, food, and right there on the head.
Yeah.
And, but
well,
anyway,
that fool shouldn't have been in a gator-infested water.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't seem right. And by the way, courtship activities for the gators start in April and go through like June or July, as the temperatures warm up.
Yeah.
That might have been like a little love tap.
Oh, boy.
Right there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's the shark story. A dude got bit on the head by the shark.
So you think that guy jumped in and the gator heard something like, well, what do we have here? What's that?
I got to get me some alligator.
So now, do you think the surrounding crowd, they all have new alligator wallets, alligator purses, alligator boots?
I think it's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least a belt.
Listen, man, if the gator bites me, I'm going to do whatever I can to get the upper hand on this gator, kill the gator, and then make a pair of damn gator boots out of him. That's what I'm going to do.
You got to have more than just a scar to remember that incident by.
Right.
But outside of that, if the gator gets away and you survived that, I don't think we need to kill the damn gator unless it's
not to move on. You move them.
Yeah.
Put them in the box and move them to somewhere else.
I don't mind it a fair fight, but then going in there after the fact, that don't seem right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the other one, let's talk about a bear. So this dude, he's riding down the highway there, Route 222, and in Connecticut, he's on a motorcycle. He's on a Harley, so it's he's like, hey, my name is Thomas. I'm 65. I'm loving life. I'm just hanging out on my motorcycle, going through the night. I'm a badass. And then all of a sudden, he hit a bear. He plowed into a bear
with his Harley.
Yeah, and he died. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. They found him laying in the roadway after the crash. No word on the bear. Let me just say, that is some bleeping horrible reporting by the people who put this up. But they say they have no idea what happened. So the bear probably got hit and is wandered off.
I was going to say,
it probably stunned him, and then he just crawled off into the wilderness.
Maybe 500, 600 pounds.
Wait, if he's the only guy around, right? How do they know that he even hit a bear as opposed to just a pebble?
Well, probably the DNA left on the motorcycle.
That question also occurred to me, Phil.
Yeah, did the bear just go near him and leave some fecal matter and say, hey, I'm a bear?
No, here's what happens. Listen, at the end of the accident, the bear was like, you got a post note, said, sorry about the damage. Here's my number. And he put it on the bike and he just wandered off.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So
they pulled like,
any good person would.
If the bear,
if
the motorcycle struck the bear, there was surely some bear hair and
bear
DNA
hair over there.
Yeah. Bear hair over there.
Was there bear hair over there? Where was the bear hair?
Over there.
Did you stare when you saw the bear with the hair?
Of course I stare when I see bear hair.
Do you care if the bear with the hair got hit by the guy without the hair? He's 65.
Well, I do care.
I can't imagine the guy with the Harley did not have a beard. How could they delineate between a bear hair and the beard hair?
Bear hair has honey in it. That's a fact. It's a proven fact.
I don't know. Yeah. Boogie, you have a beard.
Pieces.
Do you eat honey from time to time?
That's the difference. No, he drinks straight up whiskey. He don't drink no honey whiskey.
Yeah.
So anyways, no idea what happened to the bear, but I'm sure it hurt his feelings at the very least. But
probably
at the very least.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah. He's like, just trying to shake hands and be friends. And
why does the bear sound like Dale?
Kind of hurt. I wasn't doing Dale's voice on that, although it'd make sense.
Dale? Dale is big as a bear.
I was hitchhiking in Connecticut. I got hit by a bike. And,
so that's why he was walking funny this week.
God damn, my back hurts. All right, we got to take a break. And maybe if we have time, damn it, I'm going to talk about some NFL quarterbacks. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Contractors need bonds, and the professionals at Constructors Bonding have been Arizona's leading surety management team for 40 years. We don't just deliver bonds, we make your bonding better. As the number one producer with 14 markets, Constructors Bonding has the relationships and expertise to get you better capacity, better rates, and better terms. For better bonding, call Dave McKee at Constructors Bonding at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929. Or visit cbialliance.com.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And after hearing about all the success these other guys have had here at the radio station with Valley Medical Weight Loss, I finally joined in, and man, am I glad I did. I'm already seeing results. What's great about Valley Medical Weight Loss is how easy they make it to lose weight at any one of their 3 Valley locations, and they help you customize a plan that works for your lifestyle and, more importantly, your wallet. Get with them today and see what program works best for you. Mention Fanatic, you'll get your first week free. Check them out at valleymedicalweightloss.com.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve to make sure that there are no barriers to the benefits and services earned through service to our country. Find out how we can assist you in Arizona. Visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
If you're looking to trim back your risk in growth stocks, you can move into value and dividend stocks in 2021. Dividend stocks are those that pay you to own them. You get a dividend check paid into your account every quarter from the company. Today, you can find very solid companies paying very solid dividends if you know where to look. But you're wise not to buy on dividend yield alone. Check it out. Stocks with dividends of 7 to 10% are not investment grade and may be near bankruptcy. You may win with the dividend, but lose with the share price. That's not smart. A dividend is a share of the company's profit. Therefore, when choosing dividend stocks, ask yourself, how profitable is the company? How secure is the industry? And does it dominate the industry? And will that industry be as relevant next year as it is today?
Invest smarter. Advisory services by IQ Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For a free preview, call 480-902-3333. 480-902-3333.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100 plus degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com. Harmon Solar is an REC certified solar professional.
The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports. And now the 76ers are up by 9 over the Hawks. So the Hawks are chipping away at that early lead the 76ers had. There's no way the 76ers are going to survive this series with the Hawks, right? I mean, we could just go ahead and stick a fork in it. It's done, right?
I think it's going to be 7 games.
You really think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Jeffrey, there's a reason why they are the number 1 seed.
Yeah. I still, though, I just feel like the Hawks are going to have their number. It's going to be a great series between the Hawks and the Nets in the East.
Well, I think this series is going to be good. And Joel Embiid is a warrior, and this guy just keeps.
No, he's a 76er.
Well, okay, he's a 76er, but I mean, he's all man, and he's going to keep fighting until he can't fight anymore. And that's why I think this is going to be a 7-game series between Philadelphia and Atlanta.
Well, I don't know. You might be right. Let's see what happens at the end of this game. And what's the other game tonight? The other game is
Jazz and the Slippers.
Right. Keep forgetting the Clippers survived. It still stuns me a little bit.
It feels like both of them should have lost, or the Mavericks should have won.
Maybe we just cancel that series and send them home.
That sounds good to me.
I think we
good to
should
you, Randy?
do that.
Yeah.
I'll make a call later. Right now, I'm trying to get to talk about some NFL quarterbacks here, but let me clear up the text line real fast before we do that. Bruno Baller says, "Oh, that grizzly bear took off on that guy's motorcycle and was later spotted at a biker bar."
Is that what it is?
I see. Hefty Lefty says, in San Francisco, that would have been a different kind of bear. You know what I'm saying right there. Or you could also substitute Palm Springs in that joke. 888-368-1580. Good cat
bear.
Good cat says,
"Oh,
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy lost some hair to the Harley. It kind of hurt. Yeah. 888-368-1580. Bob Schrisky is on the text line. Say, hey, Randy, Jeffrey, and the new guy. Thanks again for another fine show there, fellas.
Well, thank you for being here, Bob Schwarzkey.
Good to hear from you, Bob.
According to Bob, I can always be the new guy because if we're still your new home for sports, I'm still the new guy.
Yeah, listen, Randy and I know one thing for sure, and that is Radio Ron listens to this radio show on a regular basis.
It's been nice knowing you, Phil.
Yeah, he's going to get crusty against you for that little comment you just made right there.
Love it.
Yeah. Random texter says, how about we cancel the Lakers and never invite them back?
That works for me.
No. How about that? No.
Phil, why do you think you have a say in anything?
Because I'm the new guy.
President Wallet says, I lived in Florida for a while, and the alligator was protected. I don't think they knew what they were doing because they opened the alligator season because there was too many damn alligators. A nuisance gator is one that identifies food with people. It usually happens because they're in a populated area, makes them more likely to attack people and pets. Let me ask you a question, President Wallet, since you're an expert on gators. Why do we need them?
Guys,
why do we need them?
Overpopulation of zebras?
Well, I'll punch a zebra, but no, I'm serious. I'm not. I want to actually know the reason in the eco chain, the circle of life. What part do gators play other than making a nice wallet?
I mean, wouldn't without gators, wouldn't like the fish life just flourish and dry up all the swamp areas, and then you lose some swamp birds? And,
I'm glad you asked, Red, because there's no gators in Arizona.
That's true.
And yet that ecosystem with birds and fish and other things,
but there's rattlesnakes here. There's rattlesnakes here. And,
rattlesnakes are not
monsters.
like legless gators who don't like to go in the water.
Oh, I think if there were not rattlesnakes here, we would have an abundance of the jackrabbit.
They got
the
snakes in
cottontail
Florida
rabbit.
too.
Yeah, they do. And gators eat snakes as well.
We got coyotes and stuff that eat the bunnies.
We do have coyotes. They eat the bunnies and the ground rodents, the desert mice, and all that sort of stuff, and the occasional small dog.
Well, there's one thing I know that doesn't do anything, and it's those sons of bitches that are called wasps. Oh my God. They add nothing to the food chain, nothing to the ecosystem. They're the most pointless bastards you've ever come across. They can sting you and not die. And they just do it because they feel like it. They get angry. They don't even care. They don't need a reason. They just come after you and they come trying to sting you. And then what do? They don't make honey. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. And wasps, I'd like to eradicate them from the earth.
Well, apparently I've been looking for this answer for you, Jeffrey. One of the few answers I've been able to find for you is that alligators and crocodiles are one of the few remaining direct descendants of the dinosaurs.
So what?
That was all I had for you.
Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna be a reason to keep them around, what they do.
I mean, they're old. I mean, staying alive that long until we came around, that's pretty impressive.
So wasps, you were acting, what do wasps do? You think they're just lazy?
No, they're not lazy. They're the a-holes of the insect world. They just go around stinging people.
All right. Wasps are predators. They hunt live prey like flies, caterpillars, and spiders as a source of protein. So that's what they are. They are the pest control of the ecosystem.
Well, President Wallet has an answer. It says an alligator is a janitor. It'll regulate other species and also get rid of dead things. Not to mention they taste absolutely delicious and they make great handbags.
That's true.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't think they really serve any purpose nature-wise, but enjoy the wallet, I guess. I guess that's all right. Vikings going to the Super Bowl, says Skull. Thank you, Skull. Hefty Lefty says, they, along with crocodiles, they are perfect killing machines. Seems like their only weakness is rednecks. Fed Fan says, without gators, we wouldn't have movies like Lake Placid. And I like gator shoes. Thank you, Fed Fan. Large Marge says, the Lakers got off the hook. Imagine facing jock itch with a pulled groin. That's double jeopardy right there. Thunder Snow says, burn in hell, wasps. And nobody can tell me why we need wasps. You may have told me, but I don't know. I don't accept it. Thunder Snow says, we need gators because they look badass. Do they?
So
Baker's
is a gator badass or a crocodile? Which one would you rather not see? A gator
it's the same thing.
or a crocodile?
They're the
No,
same thing. One's a little more lumpy. That's it.
I see. A crocodile is 10 times the size of a gator.
And lumpy. It's the same damn thing. And yes, Baker Cocky Hens, I knew when I said that somebody would say this. Rattlesnakes do swim on top of the lakes out here. That's true. So they are like little legless alligators, I guess. President Wallet says, I already read that. Sorry about that. Average Joe says alligators keep the redneck population down. Without them, Florida and Louisiana would infect the rest of the United States.
Yeah, we'd be overrun.
All right, I'm warming up to the gators. Baby Got Dak says gators help balance the population of other animals and help dig holes in the marshes to help fish and invertebrates with their habitats.
The digging of the holes, yes.
On purpose?
Yes, that's where they lay their eggs.
Random Texter says, without gators, what was the University of Florida going to be?
The Wasps.
They can still be of a
They were
bygone era.
always known as the criminals.
Yeah,
so.
we've got some saber-tooths out there.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooner says, I'm predicting Oklahoma Sooners in the national championship game versus Clemson, 56-36 Sooners.
Good for you.
Are we still talking softball? Bruno Baller says the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl because they have already purchased their tickets. Large Marge says Blackie Lawless is a huge Wasp fan. Wow, there's a deep reference I do not understand. Anybody? Anyone else?
Nope, I'm at a loss.
Hey, Dennis Miller, thanks for the text. Hefty Lefty says, along with useless animals, you could add mosquitoes and peacocks. Yeah, man, peacocks are worthless birds.
Mosquitoes do hold some value. Remember, if we go and they get stuck in some amber, that's how we bring the dinosaurs back and start Jurassic Park. All right.
I don't want.
You don't want.
I don't want dinosaurs.
Well, how can we do that without the mosquitoes?
You see that dude got eaten on the toilet. I don't want to get eaten on the toilet.
Yeah, but he wasn't using the toilet. He was hiding in the toilet.
Still, he got eaten on the toilet.
No, come on. If you're about to fight somebody and they go hide in the toilet, don't you lose a little respect for him?
For the dinosaur or for the guy hiding in the toilet? Because
for the guy in the toilet.
Yeah, you should be eating on the toilet, Phil. Just saying.
Hey, that's something. Why don't we give that T-Rex any crap?
No,
he,
I totally
he directly ate on the toilet.
Well, he ate crap because that guy was crapping his pants.
He was
right then.
not. He went in there to hide.
He's pooping himself. You get eaten by a dinosaur, you're probably going to lose it.
Yeah, you have some release, yeah.
I am told now that Blackie Lawless was the singer of Wasp. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Never.
All right.
Not really. Is that a heavy metal thing? I never really.
Not a.
I don't know.
Hey, can we do on this date in Big Georgia sports history, and then I can talk about NFL quarterbacks?
Please, why not?
Big George.
Let's do this.
Let's
All right.
do Big George.
It's time now for on this date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1965, the Kansas City Athletics made Arizona State University outfielder Rick Monday the #1 selection in baseball's first ever free agent draft. Monday reached the major leagues in '66, but played most of his 19-year career with the Chicago Cubs and the Dodgers. Monday is best remembered for saving the American flag from being burned in the Dodger Stadium outfield during the American Bicentennial in '76. Back to me, Jeffrey. Yep.
Yeah. Was that Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, that's what Big George says.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Ooh, Hawks have cut it down to 5 with 2 seconds to go in the
Told you
second.
they were coming back. Watch this. Watch this be another Hawks win. Bruno Baller says, "Well, Jeffrey, you did a lot of not talking about NFL quarterbacks, didn't you?" I was getting to it. I'm getting there. Just give me a minute.
Well, hold on. You promised on the Twitterverse, you promised a big wheel of sports.
I have a big wheel of sports here too.
Let's do that.
Well, but I want to talk about NFL quarterbacks.
But it's about the audience. It's about what they need.
Something has got to be cut here, Jeffco, and I think it's the NFL quarterbacks.
But is God is my witness?
God is not watching over us at this moment.
What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us.
About 3 minutes left in the show.
Riding
You
on the
gotta pick
bus,
one.
trying to find his way home.
Mm-hmm.
Random Texter says, I lose less respect for a guy hiding in the toilet when he's about to fight than a guy who takes off his clothes when he's about to fight.
No.
Good point.
Between the two, at least the other guy's staying there to fight, and the other guy's running away.
Average Joe says wasps help pollinate and keep crop pests like caterpillars down. You know what I hear? What I hear there is they make my allergies worse and they kill butterflies. Yeah, that sounds pretty mean.
Yeah, they
right
rape
there.
and pillage all the butterflies in a local area.
Yeah, you don't want to see what happens there. Justin Tip says Gators wouldn't be a problem if we had Gator pot. You'll never hear of crock problems.
Yes. Can we just
Bunch of
sprinkle
stone
that in?
Gators?
Yes.
Wow.
Could get some
They'd
CBD.
be pretty mellow, man.
Yeah. Get some CBD oil and just
They'd
put
open
it
their
in there.
mouth and go, ha, 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 ha. That's all you can see.
That'd be it. Yeah.
And their nostrils sticking up over the water piece, like little puffs of
Yeah.
smoke.
Oh, yeah.
It's good thinking, Justin Tip.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Way to go.
Hathy Lefty says, Buddha wants the wheel of sports. The hell's Buddha? Large Mars says, yeah, Blackie Lawless once set his crotch on fire doing a stunt on stage. Told his bandmates, man, we got to write better songs.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny. Prison Wallet says crocodiles are way more scary looking than alligators.
I think you're right.
But
I
I'm
agree with
pretty
you.
sure the alligators have a bigger bite and they're more ferocious than their crocodile counterparts.
Well, I guess I got to do something. So we're going to start the show tomorrow with NFL quarterbacks.
Okay.
As God is my witness.
Now, as God is your witness, the Atlanta Hawks are at a 2-point deficit going into the half.
At least I'm getting that right.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is insane.
Hey, Randy, can you spin the wheel of sports so I can at least do something?
There you go.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh no.
I can't even do that now.
No, because otherwise we'd be clipping ourselves off.
Well, I'll give you one wheel of sports thing real fast. And that is something that slipped through the cracks. People may not even know about it. American sprinter Arian Knighton broke Usain Bolt's 200-meter record.
No way.
Yeah, he did that over the weekend. And so there's one record, Usain Bolt, not fast enough to keep. So that was pretty impressive. He ran it 20.11 seconds. That's a 200-meter race. He beat Bolt's record from 2003, which was 20.13. So by the teeniest little margin, he's faster than Usain Bolt. So, all right. Well, I guess
How about that?
that's all we have time for.
Wow.
Guess we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. where we're talking NFL quarterbacks on the Daily Blender.
Bye.
Bye.
Introducing in-person payments from PayPal, a touch-free way for your customers to pay and tip. Whether you're a hot dog vendor,
Mustard? You gotta have the mustard.
a personal